The Bears took one on the nose in San Francisco yet again. Was it coaching? Was it defense? I think it was a mix of both. We're going to find out what you guys think right after this.
Windy City banners rocking 4 stars aligned. Dynasty dreams rise, Bulls in their prime. Cubs curse shattered, the victory divine. Fields be running, clock ticking on my timeline. Shot-town heroes, legends never fade. Black Hawks flying, cutting ice with the blade. White Sox diamonds, the Southside parade. 4 stars shine bright, legacies they made. Mike with the crown, air rain, no dispute. Sweetness in the backfield, Walter in pursuit. Bear down Sunday's midfield, battles cute. Chicago.
Hello again, everybody. Welcome to 4-Star Chicago Sports. This is unfortunately not Victory Monday, but a lot of people didn't think the Bears were going to pull this out, so no one should be surprised. I was just a little surprised the defensive side of the ball. Here, it was just Gash City. 6 touchdowns allowed, and I think it was 8 offensive possessions for the Niners. At least we got them to punt for the first time in over a month. So there is a silver lining, but not much. Every time the Bears go to San Francisco, something seems to happen. But there's some bright things that came out of this game. There's some not so bright things that came out of this game. And before we start, dissecting too much, you got to look at home. The Bears are giving up 17.4 points per game. On the road, they're giving up almost 30, which is 32nd in the league. So again, I thought that the Bears would be able to hang. If you guys listened to the show on Sunday morning, I thought kind of happened exactly the way I thought it was going to happen. I just thought the Bears would be on the side on the winning side because we had the ball just like we wanted it. 2 minutes to go, ball in Caleb's hand. But as we've talked about on this show many a times over the past few weeks, that these comeback bids, sometimes they're just going to fall short, especially against better teams. It did this week, bit the Bears in the butt. So, Kyle, Brandon, what did y'all think of this week?
2 of the last 4, man. It's too little, too late. 2 of the last 4 games for the Bears. Yeah, I mean, this is the Bears, man. They're the cardiac Bears, and this is going to be their identity, I believe, for the rest of the season. And unfortunately, the deeper we get into the season, the deeper in the schedule we get, I think the more these holes are starting to show themselves. I mean, the Bears probably at this point are telling themselves they need an upgrade at the linebacker position, defensive tackle, defensive end. They probably need another corner. They should probably replace Jaquan Brisker at safety. I mean, but at the end of the day, guys, it sucks to lose. It always sucks to lose, especially in that fashion when you're so close. You're one play away from winning the game. But it was a tough fought game by the Chicago Bears. They're playing a team for the last 10 years has been considered a perennial Super Bowl contender. The Niners look like they've been better than they have in the last 5 years. They have not missed a beat. I think they're averaging 35 points a game over the last 5. The Bears are into a really hot team, and they're on their field. And unfortunately, they were just one defensive stop short of winning that game.
Yeah, and I think win or lose, especially since you went to San Fran, I think this game is going to do nothing but build more confidence for this Bears offense. The defense, guys, I have to say this, it concerns me more than it ever has because you're always kind of rest assured that like if the Bears took the ball away, they'd win the game. Well, they took the ball away and scored a touchdown, and they still lost the game. And this is the first. You're talking about Jared Goff in week 2. You're talking about Jordan Love the first time they played the Packers when he was actually in the game. And now Brock Purdy, who I consider to be a good quarterback. The Bears defense is not looking like they can contend with playoff quarterbacks, guys. That scares the shit out of me. Like, it really does. I really wanted them to make a statement. More so than the offense. I did. I wanted the defense to be like, because we talked about how good that Niners offense was and how good they've been playing recently. I thought the defense could have come out and made a statement like, we're here to play playoff fucking football against playoff football teams. Not good. I mean, you just read Nashawn Wright's numbers before this. I mean, it's not good.
Yeah,
they can't stop anything.
When you play these teams with these quarterbacks, Brock Purdy, Matthew Stafford, they're not going to make a ton of mistakes, man. So the Bears make a living. The Bears defense makes a living off taking a ball away, and these guys aren't going to give you the ball that many times. They're professionals. They've been especially Stafford. I mean, that guy
on the flip side,
he's not going to give you the ball 5 times.
Yeah, the Bears against quality quarterbacks, man, are not looking good. I think they're 0-3. That's what I'd call them. I'm going to say quality quarterbacks. I'm going to the 3 guys that I listed already. They're 0-3, so that's a problem. But I do think that the offense showed you that they can play with anyone in the playoffs, especially. Like, this team's going to compete. This offense is going to be there at the end, guys, because Ben Johnson's drawing it up. And I have more faith in Ben Johnson than I ever have. And I know there's still some woes, and Ben's working out the kinks in his own coaching, just the same as he is Caleb's quarterbacking. But it gets better every week, as far as I'm concerned. I did think he went a little pass heavy in that game, but it kind of played that way, man. They didn't the time of possession thing. I don't think Ben. I think he knew that wasn't going to be a good approach in that football game. It was going to be score often and early.
Kyle and
But-
I talked about that a little bit. I think, and I was in agreement with this 100% that I think they should have slowed this game down by running the ball a little bit more. I mean, you
Yeah, that's
had
what's being
DeAndre
said. That's what
Swift.
Olin Kreutz and those guys were saying.
Yeah,
after the game.
I mean, you're running 6 yards a clip, and I was going to text out in the chat, and I want to just in our group chat last night, but I wanted to hold it down to see how the game was going to finish off. And I know he had 2 touchdowns and 52 yards, and I know everybody is in love with the Kyle Manung guy, but man, he does have limitations in this offense where DeAndre Swift does not. And using this guy, Kyle Manungai, inside the 20 and taking DeAndre Swift off the field, I've mentioned this numerous times throughout the season, is just a deficiency to the offense. It takes time. It takes abilities away from what they can do. It happened again last night. He was in on that field goal drive. It's just like,
Yeah, Sean, you can't give Swift 9 touches. That's criminal. I agree with you 100%.
yes.
That guy has played the best football of his entire career this season. He's been reliable. He's done everything you've asked of him. He's improved in areas I never thought he would as a running back, to be honest. And you let him touch the ball 9 times. And he got in the end zone multiple
Twice.
times. It's like, yeah, there's something wrong with that recipe for sure. But I do believe that this game was going to be try to keep up. And I don't know, with all these illnesses and they pulled Oz out at the end, it started to feel like the Bears were just going to maybe offer one up. Was anyone else getting that vibe? Like, they're going to go out there and play to the end, but it felt like, I don't know, like this loss wasn't as a detriment to their season in any way. If they lost respectfully to the Niners, it wouldn't be. But I don't think it is a big deal. I think they played a good game of
Well, I mean,
football. Their defense looks awful.
I think the Niners can beat Seattle next week, so the Bears could have been the number 1 seed if they.
Yeah,
were
but what do you think, Kyle? Watching that game,
It's huge, man. We just
I'll
Sean
ask
just go
both
over
of
their
you.
numbers on the
Watching
road
that
or at
game.
home.
I know I just said the thing I said about quarterbacks, and this Niners offense, guys, is like rolling like a steam train right now. But do you think that team who plays in San Francisco can come to Chicago if
Now they don't
'cause-
have to.
Yeah,
Did they
now
win
they
the
don't have
division?
to.
did they win the division or I thought Seattle
If
still
they win,
did.
if they win next week, they have home field advantage all
Bears
the way
can't-
through the Super Bowl.
The Bears can't surpass the Niners seeding no matter what. I mean,
No, the Bears are either the 2 or 3 seed.
unless
moving forward.
the Niners don't win the division. But I think
But
the Niners are going to beat Seattle.
I don't think the Niners are going to win their
the
division, guys. I think they're a wild card team, which means if they
No,
go
if
to
they-
if they play
if they-
Chicago, they go to Chicago.
Vernon, if they
Oh,
beat
yeah.
if they beat Seattle next week, I think Saturday night. If they beat Seattle, the Niners, the Niners are the number 1 seed in the NFC.
Correct.
They get home field
That is
advantage
correct.
throughout the playoffs. They get the first round bye. They are the number 1s. And I don't know if you guys been watching the Niners play. I've been watching Seattle play lately. And I'm not talking about Seattle playing teams like Carolina. I'm talking about Seattle playing good competitive teams. The Niners could beat them. The Niners could beat
That's
them.
going to be
They
one
can beat
hell of
them.
a finish, man. That's
The
going to be
Seattle,
the game.
Seattle's very
That's gonna be the
inconsistent.
game
They'll
of
have a
the
good quarter, bad quarter,
season.
good quarter, bad quarter.
I'll be honest. There's no Monday night game last night. Oh, that's the Saturday night game. They moved it to Saturday night. Seattle, San Francisco, Saturday night, 7:00, and then Sunday is Pittsburgh, Baltimore for the AFC North. That's what they did. So,
Yeah, that
Um,
Seattle
really
Niners
quick,
game is
I-
going to be awesome. But
really quick, we have a 4-star's birthday. I
but
told her I'd shout her out on the show. Happy birthday, Lindsay. I know you're not a Bears fan, so I gave you a rock chalk cake. Happy birthday. She does a lot of stuff for us behind the scenes. Just wanted to wish her a happy birthday.
Happy
today
birthday.
because it is her birthday.
but the
So-
question still stands unanswered, guys. If the Niners did come to Chicago, that scenario played its way out. Do you feel confident after watching the way the Bears played in their house that they'd come here in cold weather and they're a California team and the Bears would have an advantage?
Happy birthday, Paul.
I think every home team has
Happy
an
birthday,
advantage. I
Paul.
think home field advantage is more prominent in the NFL than it is in any other sport. And I think the Bears play better at home. Sean just went over the numbers. They give up a ton more points on the road than they do at home. I think that's most teams in the NFL. You're not sleeping in your own bed. You're not with your family or
Well,
in a hotel.
I'm talking
I get it.
specifically
I
more about a
understand.
warm-weathered team coming to a cold
But I
environment
mean,
too. It's
I'll
not the
tell you this.
Packers. The Packers have no advantage in the cold
I'll
or
tell you this.
disadvantage in the cold.
If the Bears lose on Sunday and the Eagles win and the Bears become the 3 seed and they're matched up against the Rams, I don't have any confidence that the Bears can stop Puka Nacua and Matthew Stafford. They couldn't stop Ricky Pearsall and Juwan Jennings.
Yeah.
I mean, they got Devontae Adams and Puka Nacua. I think
Yeah,
the Rams will come into Chicago and beat them.
I don't have a lot of faith in their defense, man. But like I said, I do think that this team's proving, their offense is proving we're going to be there.
Yeah, but the
Even
Rams
if our
defense is better than the
even if
Niners.
our defense just keeps letting it up, we're going to be there. That's what's going to. So
Listen,
I believe
we've talked
Ben
about
Johnson, the effect that Ben Johnson is having, Kyle, is the one that you prayed for. The
Yeah.
best case scenario of Ben Johnson
Yeah.
and we've talked
is
about
occurring
this a lot.
right now, and I
Sean
think
and I
he's
have been
going to
saying
be
this
competitive with anybody because his offense is very dynamic.
Sean and I have been saying this for a couple months now. Listen, the Bears can beat anybody. Like, are they physically able? Can they beat any team across from them in the NFL? Yes. I honestly believe, guys, that any team in the NFL can beat any team on any given Sunday. You just got to have a lot of good luck, bad luck. Ball rolls your way, ball doesn't roll your way, whatever you want to call it. I don't care. I think the Bears can beat anybody. And I think they proved last night that they've stood in there with the best of the best. The Packers, the Niners, the Eagles, they could beat anybody. But I'm telling you,
it was a fun game. It was a
the
good
Bears
game.
plan on 2 of their last 4 games now, the Packers in Green Bay and now San Francisco in San Fran. The Bears have tried these last minute heroics and it didn't work. It's not, sometimes it just doesn't work. Sometimes you just fall a little bit short. If the Bears plan on winning 3 games in a row in the playoffs to get to the Super Bowl or even in the Super Bowl by playing from behind with 2 minutes left and trying to win the game on the last drive, if they do that all 4 games, which they've done basically every game this season, they're probably not going to win the Super Bowl.
It's a bad formula.
It's just not a good position to put yourself in. Like, listen, guys, I love the Bears. I love Caleb Williams, but I think this may have been Caleb Williams' best game of his career. I mean, he looked he almost looked flawless. I know there was that one pass to, what was it, Loveland on the sideline that Chris Collinsworth destroyed him for. And then there was the one to Monungai where he just threw it over his head on 4th down. But outside of those 2 plays, this was Caleb's most fundamentally sound football game of the entire season. He
outside of Dallas. Outside of Dallas,
I think he was better this time. So
do I. I agree.
I don't think people understand, and I'm not talking about you guys, but I'm just talking about how nonchalant they talked about it on the broadcast. How good that throw to Luther Burden was, because that was effortless. I mean, that wasn't like Caleb ran 6 yards back, gave himself a running start and threw that ball as hard as he possibly could to Luther Burden. That was a 55-yard pass, almost off the back foot with a flip of a wrist. Like, he really didn't whip that thing, and it dropped right into the breadbasket. I think Caleb just, to me, looks more and more like a seasoned vet every single game, and it's not surprising that the most recent game he's played is the game where he looked like the most veteran he's looked his entire career. I think it's only going to get better every week. The problem with the Bears is, guys, and Vernon, you've talked about it numerous times this season, Sean has a few, you can't fix the defense. It is what it is. You got what you got, right? Austin Booker's not going to get 12 sacks in the playoff.
Playing in
right?
these last minute games, man, because you're going to need the ball last because you're probably just going to allow a score.
Unfortunately, you're about to play some damn. I don't know if you guys have been watching the way Philly's defense is playing. I don't know if you've been watching the way Puka Nacua and Matthew Stafford have been playing. I don't know if you've been watching the way Seattle's defense has been playing. Dude, I don't know if you've been watching the way San Fran's offense has been playing, even before the Bears game. They're about to run into some damn good football teams, man.
I think I'm anticipating a defensive stop more than a takeaway at this point. Honest to God. Like, the turnovers is it's amazing, and it just keeps happening, and it's awesome. But I just want to see this team get a team off the field. What?
That's what I was hoping for last night. And
they just can't get off. What happened to the 3rd down efficiency? Where the hell did that go, Dennis Allen?
What happened to the red zone efficiency? Everything went up in smoke yesterday.
Sean, I know you've mentioned this before. I've heard you talk about it.
With healthy players, too, Sean.
I've heard you talk about it on shows in the past, so I want to see your response to this comment. I don't know who wrote it. I can't find it, but it said, I think the Bears don't have any speed on defense. What do you think?
It's 100%. I mean, it was so evident. Now, I want to say this, and I mean this wholeheartedly. It's getting late in the season. Bears injuries are mounting, and I know players are back. Doesn't mean they're 100% healthy. I know everyone's beating the hell out of Tremaine Edmonds after yesterday, and rightfully so. He was awful in that football game. But when you have a team that's built on speed, which the Niners were very fast yesterday, and you got some guys ailing from injuries, just trying to get out there and perform at their best. I think that's kind of what caught up to the Bears outside of this flu thing yesterday. I mean, I know when I have the flu and my first couple of days when I'm feeling better, I'm still worn down. I'm still ready for bed at 7 o'clock, and I'm just exhausted after that flu just kicked my ass. And I know Darnell Wright had a good game. I mean, this guy, they said he couldn't even stand up on Saturday, and he was still man enough to get on a plane, fly across the country, and suit up for the Bears.
They said the guys who had the flu, the illness, they said they weren't on the field during warmups.
Yeah.
So like they were feeling like shit, dude.
And that's what I'm saying.
For sure.
And definitely on
Bears should have been looking the football. Get those
Well,
Niners sick going into the play.
when it comes to Tremaine Edmonds and it comes to TJ Edwards, I think a healthier version of them is a lot better yesterday because Edmonds couldn't cover a damn thing. He probably couldn't cover me. Yesterday, he was just awful. I think he wound up with like a 37 grade in pass coverage, and he gave up a ton of yards along with Nashawn Wright, who should be fired from this squad. I know everyone's darling. That guy should not be resigned, along with another guy, number 9, Jaquan Brisker. I'm over the guy. I mean, the guy got torched again yesterday. He's looks
just terrible
lost.
coverage.
Yeah,
Terrible.
he looks lost.
Yeah,
He looks
I'm
lost.
okay. I'm
Terrible.
okay with not
Terrible.
re-signing. I like the energy he plays with, but there's a lot of guys you can find at that position that do the same. I do think, yeah.
And
I mean,
really quick, if you want
they're
to help
just-
your,
you know what, man?
real quick, Brandon, if you want to help your speed on defense, and this guy is not re-signed, which I don't think he will be in Philadelphia. If I'm Bears, I'm taking a long, hard look at Nakobe Dean, who is going to be a free agent if he's not franchised or re-signs with the Eagles, which would be his right. But that guy would be someone I would be very welcome to the Chicago Bears adding to this defense at the in the offseason.
Yeah, but I think they're missing. They're just not good enough, guys. And the defensive line, the trenches, they're terrible. They're terrible. You can't even. So here's the thing, and guys, I did want to say this. We're talking about the injuries. Their most important player, probably on that side of the ball, is still not on the field. Kyler Gordon, I think, is the oil that oils the machine there. But they're on the defensive line. They get beat. They get beat.
Constantly.
I mean, in every way. So how accountable can we even hold the Tremaine Edmonds and TJ Edwards and secondaries of this league when these fucking guys up front can't do anything? Even when they get sacks, guys, they're not really establishing pressure. I mean, it's remarkable how bad this team is making a quarterback uncomfortable. That's why the good quarterbacks, that's why I said the 3 guys they've played have carved them up. Jordan Love, Jared Goff, especially. Now Purdy in that game, accountable for 5 touchdowns, because you lose in the trenches every time you play one of these guys. You got to get pressure on good quarterbacks, and the Bears are going to face those and only those when the playoffs come around. Something's got to give, guys. You've got to find a way. Dennis Allen was doing it early and then backed off of it because he was getting burned when he blitzed, but like, you got to find a way. You've got to get home. Brock Purdy cannot be comfortable. That's a guy who's going to make you pay when he's comfortable. It's not the same as Tyler Huntley.
Let's dig into the game a little bit here, guys, because there's a couple things I noticed just to sit on my couch watching. First of all, I know that it wasn't a ton of yardage, or they didn't do it up to multiple times. It's not like they did it every other play, but these teams are starting to notice that the Bears opponents are starting to notice that the Bears have trouble stopping quarterbacks from running the ball. And listen, like I said, I know it was only cumulatively like what I think Brock Purdy had 25, 30 rushing yards somewhere in there, but it could have been the most 25, 30 important 30 rushing yards of the game. The guys, he had 2 touchdowns and a first down on design quarterback draws. I mean, it's like when Malik Willis came into the game against the Packers, Malik Willis absolutely destroyed the Bears. And the same could be said for Jackson Dart before he left that game game due to concussion. The Bears struggle at stopping quarterbacks from running the ball. And if they get matched up against the Eagles again in the playoffs and Jalen Hurts, you know for a fact they're going to start designing more runs for Jalen Hurts the more film of the Chicago Bears they watch. So that's one thing that if I'm Dennis Allen, they really need to start focusing on. I think a way that they could adjust and fix that a little bit, at least help out a little bit, guys, is, to be honest with you, and this is no disrespect because I think the guy's like probably a very nice guy by all accounts, it seems it, but I'm not a huge fan of Noah Sewell. I'm not necessarily unhappy that he's not going to be playing going forward. Now, obviously, I don't want to see anybody tear their Achilles tendon, but what do you guys think about maybe using more of TJ Edwards and DeMarco Jackson?
I like the use of DeMarco.
That's more speed. You guys keep saying there's not enough speed. DeMarco Jackson's a lot faster than Tremaine Edmonds.
I was actually really surprised. I'm actually looking up right now.
Tremaine Edmonds looks sluggish.
I think you should have 3 linebackers on the field when you don't have Kyler Gordon.
Sorry, Sean, hold on, Brandon. I cut Sean off there. Sean, go ahead, finish yours.
No, I was just saying I was actually very surprised that DeMarco Jackson wasn't more active in the football game yesterday.
Even with Edmonds on the field.
Even with Edmonds.
I mean, what does he got to do?
You don't have
what does he have
Gordon.
to do? I mean, this guy's been absolutely. I mean, people are just all over Nahshon Wright because of the takeaways. And listen, I love the takeaways, but outside of that, Nahshon Wright's been terrible. He was terrible again yesterday.
And I'm sorry, guys, but
DeMarco Jackson's good at everything. And he doesn't get a single snap in the game.
I'm starting to see the reason that CJ Gardner-Johnson bounces around from team to team.
Yeah.
Because he's really not that effective as a nickel corner. He's really not. So
no, he's terrible.
Without Kyler Gordon, I think I'd rather plug in Jackson and have a 3 linebacker set because you just don't have that Swiss Army knife. You don't have the guy. And actually, Jackson did a pretty good job of it. Like when he got that pick, he was spying. He was hiding underneath a defensive lineman, and when he got that interception, he was reading his eyes the entire time. And he was playing the nickel. Really, thought he did a good job. So I don't know that you can't play all 3 of those guys together. I don't know you can't play those guys together. The 3 of them might be able to play alongside one another.
Yeah, James, they're exactly the same. 4-5-5, 4-5-5. But I don't know. This year, to me, Edmonds looks sluggish, guys. I don't know if he's added a couple pounds. I mean, you're talking about when he was coming out of college. He's also now closer to 30 than he is 20. I'm not saying Tremaine Edmonds is the worst linebacker, but I don't know if you've been watching the last few games, James. Maybe it's just because of the injury. Obviously, he was off for a month, so it's going to take some time to come back. But there's a difference between looking a little sluggish and just being absolutely non-existent on the football field. Edmonds is taking the wrong cuts, that he's going to the wrong gaps.
If you guys want to look at it,
he can't cover tight ends, he can't cover slot receivers, he's not good at rushing the quarter. I mean, tell me at this point in the last 2 games, what has Tremaine Edmonds done that's good?
Well, if you
he
look,
was having a monster year before he got injured. So clearly, guys, the injury, I mean, you don't have to think about
maybe, but then he shouldn't be.
The injury is having an impact on how he's playing.
If he's a detriment.
The numbers,
Kyle, is this another Russia player back? When you actually had a linebacker who was playing quality football in Jackson?
I'm just really upset.
Are we putting players on the field that shouldn't be on the field? Are they not like healthy?
He hasn't had an interception since like week 4.
Playing condition.
Here, and I will say this. For just on CJ Gardner-Johnson's side, I personally thought that interception should have counted. That was a ticky-tack call. They said that's going to get called every time. I'd say plenty of times that is not called. It's not like he grabbed his face mask. He put his hand up. He moved. His face mask moved a little bit. He didn't grab it. He didn't pull it. He didn't turn it.
Yeah, it
was a ticky-tack bullshit call. And that turned the game.
And he would have picked that. He would have either way. You know what I mean? Like it didn't. To argue that impacted or impeded the receiver. I don't know. Yeah, I thought it was kind of a bullshit call.
And not happy with that.
Sometimes I have to analyze, am I just being a Bears fan, or is but then I'm thinking to myself, like, if I saw that call in another game with 2 teams without a dog in the fight, I'd probably be like, that's a shit call. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, I mean, guys, I don't know if it's the injury or whatnot, but I can tell you guys right now, everybody in the chat, everybody listening, Brian and Sean, in my eyes, all I can do is watch the football games and tell you what I see. Right now, defenses or opposing offenses for the Chicago Bears, the 49ers, these teams are taking advantage of Brisker, Gardner, Johnson, and Edmonds. That is where they're finding most of their success. Sean, could you bring that number up again? That stat up yesterday for what Edmonds did in coverage. You guys, this is Edmonds in coverage yesterday. He was passes thrown his way. Brock Purdy was 7 for 7 and had 2 touchdowns. So he had 100% completion percentage against Tremaine Edmonds and 2 touchdowns. And I think, Sean, what was Nashawn right? 6 of 7 passes were completed for 105 yards and a touchdown or something like that. Not much better.
I was trying to find that.
Listen, I'm all about.
It was 6 for 7 for 101 yards.
I'm a Bears fan, guys. I love guys who wear a Bears jersey, regardless of the name on the back of the jersey. I love all of them because they're Chicago Bears. But at the end of the day, you have to be critical of your team. And if those guys are detriment right now, if they're hurting you, and when Jackson was playing, he was playing better than until you feel like Edmonds is completely healthy. Then it's time to put Jackson back in because yesterday Tremaine Edmonds was clearly a handicap to the Chicago Bears. Look at the numbers. Sean just showed you clearly a handicap. Great. Was he playing better early in the season? Yeah, sure. Awesome. Great. But it's not early in the season anymore. It's December and you're about to go to the playoffs. You need to figure these little, you need to try to mask some of these deficiencies as the best you possibly can. As a matter of fact, guys, I'm not saying I love Tyreek Stevenson, but Tyreek Stevenson yesterday looked a lot better to me than Nashawn Wright. Looked a lot better than Nashawn Wright. Nashawn Wright was absolutely destroyed by anybody he was guarding. Anybody he was guarding absolutely destroyed him.
Tyreek Stevenson looks not great either, man. This defense is a lot is getting exposed, but not just for the teams that are potentially playing the Bears. For Ryan Poles, you got to start figuring out where to go here because this is getting the trenches is. I think that's where they're losing. I think you guys are putting a little more criticism on the backside of this defense than you should, because they're just not getting help. There's nothing going on up front, man. These guys that are in coverage are probably like, "What
that's the problem?
Fuck, get to the quarterback, please, God."
There's such things as coverage sacks as well, where if you can lock your man down for long enough, terrible defensive lineman, you give him enough time, anybody can get a sack.
I will say this:
it goes both ways. The Bears,
dude, that play that Brock Purdy
as a unit are not
danced around and then threw the touchdown. You know what I'm talking about? Where he threw that little sidearm pass. He's not Caleb Williams, guys. Brock Purdy's not the most athletic guy in the world.
He's playing at an elite level right now.
Put him on the fucking ground. Put him on the turf.
Out of his fucking mind. He's got 13 touchdowns in 3 weeks. he's playing out of his mind.
He's a hell of a passer, but like put him on the ground when he's out of the pocket, man.
I'll be honest with you here. I'm enamored with Austin Booker. He just needs to learn how to finish. I thought he was disruptive in that game. Now, granted, Trent Williams went out.
Yeah, he was. They highlighted him like 15 times.
Let him finish.
But when you get to Montez Sweat and you get to Montez Sweat had a okay game. It wasn't one of his best. I thought the pressure was coming from the sides. Every time he made a move, it was stepping up in the pocket. Dexter was going past him. I don't even know what Billings does on this team anymore. He's just not existent.
Yeah, he's a different guy, dude.
He's completely different. I know he's older and maybe it's time to move on, but when you look, there was pressure coming from Booker. Sweat was able to get in there a little bit, but the pressure wasn't the ends weren't the problem, because I see James up here saying, Jarrett, the free agent. Jarrett's been okay, but a lot of the Bears' problem is get that pressure, as you're saying, Brandon, up the middle. It just wasn't there.
Oh, their interior defensive line.
That game repeatedly in that pocket.
It's terrible.
Said, I'm going to move here. I'm going to move here. He didn't move outside too much. If he did, Booker was normally chasing him down. Booker needs to learn how to finish. If Booker learns how to finish, my God, is that guy going to be a fucking monster in this league?
He's showing.
Yeah, he could have had 3 sacks yesterday. If you're talking about opportunity, you're talking about plays in which he had his hand on Brock Purdy. He hit him in some way, shape, or on his shoulder, on his arm. He realistically could have had 3 sacks yesterday. And Booker, as much as I love Booker, and he did have a good game yesterday, and he has been pretty damn good since he's been back from injury. That play that Brennan was talking about, where Purdy was dancing around a little bit and then threw it to Juszczyk in the corner.
He embarrassed
Booker, you got to make that play.
Yeah,
you got to make. That play.
He was
a slow white quarterback.
Like a basketball dunk.
Like Brennan, that's not Jaden Daniels. That's Brock Purdy. You need to go make that play, Booker. You absolutely have to make that play. Not acceptable.
I know. Sean's right though. Whoever said it in the chat is right. The interior defensive line, guys.
Yeah, it's not good.
It's not good. I'm sorry. On paper, I would.
Who knows what Shamar Turner would be if he was here right now? Nobody knows. Maybe he'd be at least somewhat of a force. I mean, right now they have absolutely nothing. So
I call this a bottom 5 unit in the NFL.
Yeah. I mean, you guys, Billings. I believe Billings' contract is up after the season, and I think that's pretty much going to be it for Billings' run with the Chicago Bears. He looks sluggish. He looks overweight. He does not look like he's in football shape to
Well,
me.
and you have to,
He's
man,
slow. He's not having the
Dexter-
same impact he was the first year he got here. If I'm the Chicago Bears, I'm moving on from Andrew Billings. I'm moving on from Nashawn Wright. I'm moving on from Jaquan Brisker. And it's not because I think they're terrible players. I just think they're the easiest 3 positions on the field right now to upgrade in the offseason.
And I'm only paying Dexter so much, man. If that guy goes crazy for a contract, he can get the fuck out of Dodge, honestly.
I think Dexter's actually going to be relatively cheap. I don't think he's going to be like
I
some
don't know.
crazy
He's
expensive
like
defensive
top
tackle.
5 at the position in sacks, man. He's got a right
Yeah,
to
but you
ask
got to
for a
be better.
decent amount
You
of
got to
money.
be better against the run, man, and that's his job. That's the defensive
Oh,
tackle.
they need to improve.
Tackle's job
This
is to be
defensive,
better against the
guys, the
run.
interior
He's played a lot of
defensive
one
line.
technique.
Remember what Ryan Poles did to our interior offensive line this year? Where you just replaced all 3 guys.
Mhm.
Yeah, your problem is we don't have money to do that with the defensive line.
You got to go do that with this defensive. If you got to make a trade, if it requires you trade up for a draft, but like you've got to get some monsters on this line. You're losing in the trenches. Football is won and lost in the trenches, and they're doing so well on the offensive side of the football in the trenches.
Sean,
You
who's
see
that?
this defensive unit come out, and it's embarrassing, man.
Sean, if we were number 1 pick in the draft last year,
Bullied.
who did I want?
Last
Mason
year,
Graham.
And Mason Graham.
yeah,
That's who I wanted. I wanted
yeah,
Mason.
but that guy's not been the guy we thought he was.
Oh, the last 5 weeks, Sean, he's been phenomenal. His
There was
numbers
a
in the
week
last
where
5
he
weeks
was-
are
There was a
absolutely
week where
amazing.
he was graded the highest at the position,
Yeah,
not
his
for
last
rookies.
5 weeks, he has been
At the
absolutely
position.
phenomenal. The first,
He was
the
he was
first 10
graded
weeks-
like a 92 or something.
First 8-10 weeks of the season, he looked like a rookie. Is what he looked like, but he's been a lot better. And the Bears need to go get one of those monster defensive tackles, top 5 in the draft, the Jalen Carter type, hopefully without any of the character issues.
Regulars.
Yeah, but hopefully the Bears can find somebody like that who can fit into this defense, fit Dennis Allen's scheme, and improve this run defense and the pass rush. Because right now, guys, in the middle of the defensive line, it's free for the taking for any team playing the Chicago Bears. I want to talk about something real quick, guys, because we got to switch over to the we need to give this Bears team some love because there was a lot of good plays in this game. But
Yeah, some love, Lind.
Sean, in particular, you and I talked about this morning, so let's ask Burton his opinion. Burton, what do you think about because when the Bears threw the last play of the game, very last play that they couldn't get that touchdown and Caleb Williams was backpedaling and they lost the game. I believe that was first down, if I'm not mistaken, correct? Sean?
Was it first down?
What was it?
Yeah, it was
sorry.
first down. They were
So
out of
that-
time.
Yeah, but they only had 4 seconds left. So what do you think about Ben Johnson's clock management at the end of the game? Because the Bears didn't run out of downs. They ran out of time.
Oh, so here's the thing, man. For part of this game, I was heavily distracted, and I got back. I went back and watched it, but
Johnson was second down. So still,
When
you
I
had
came
another 2
back,
downs, but you ran out
I
of time.
asked the guy I was watching the game with when I stepped back. I was like, "What the hell happened to all the timeouts?" And he's like, "What do you mean?" I was like, "Where are the timeouts? Where are all the Bears timeouts? They were gone." Like I was like, "What the fuck?" And he's like, "I was like, why are the Bears running out of time right now? Why do we have no timeouts with multiple minutes left in the fourth quarter? You should at least have 1 or 2, man. What the fuck is going on here?" And I think the Niners were down to 1. I looked, I was like, the 2 teams blew all their timeouts over the second half of this game. Like, what the hell happened? So yeah, no, his management of the time at the end of the game during the drive, he probably did the best he could considering he burned himself out of timeouts.
Yeah, but here's the problem I have with that. So I think he did not. I think it was very poor clock management by Ben Johnson. And listen, I'm not sitting here harping on Ben Johnson. I love Ben Johnson. He's only going to get better. This is a learning moment for him, just like for Caleb Williams. Every time we talk about his deficiencies, all they could do is take these things and learn from them. But you correct me if you think I'm wrong. But first, they open up that drive with 15 seconds left before the 2-minute warning, and they run the ball. They run the ball to DeAndre Swift. At that point, if I'm Ben Johnson, I'm thinking, first of all, the San Francisco 49ers have not stopped Caleb Williams once the entire game. So I'm passing and picking up chunk yards in that 15 seconds before the 2-minute. I'm trying to pick up 10, 12, 14, 16 yards instead of running DeAndre Swift up the middle for 4 yards. That's basically a wasted play at that point. What you did is you just wasted 15 seconds to get 4 yards.
Yeah, not
So
a
if you
wasted
do
play,
the math,
wasted
do
time.
the math, it's not worth it. Obviously, the drops did not help that drive. The Coastal Loveland and Luther Burden drops did not help that drive because people would say, "Oh yeah, but the clock stopped when they dropped the pass." But it doesn't matter. You lost those yards, so now you still have to go gain those 30 yards and drop passes. What my concern is, guys, is first of all, I believe they huddled up too much in the last drive of the game. You can't huddle up every single play when you're trying to score a touchdown with 2 minutes left in the game. You can't. You just can't. You have to. Half these 2-minute drives should be scripted. They should know the plays in their arsenal on these 2-minute drives, and they should know how to score a touchdown with 2 minutes left. On top of that, guys, there was just numerous times where if you guys correct me if you think I'm wrong, and maybe I'm just being nitpicking here, but they just look sluggish getting to the line of scrimmage. The whole operation to me looks very slow. Like they look like they're so arrogant. They're like, all we need is one play left with 4 seconds, and we're definitely gonna win the game. We're the Bears. Like, no. What if the ball's tipped at the line of scrimmage? Like you guys got the ball down to the goal line, the 4-yard line on second down, and you could have had 3rd down and 4th down to try to win the game with a touchdown, but instead you ran out of time and you only had 4 seconds left. And
they did, Kyle. They would have won
for one play. Like the Bears need to be better in that 2-minute situation. Listen, if it's a team like the Packers guys or Seattle, where you're like, well, Kyle, you're not just going to throw 8 completions in a row against Seattle or the Packers defense, sure, but the Niners hadn't proven they could stop Caleb for the entire second half. They hadn't stopped him once. Like Caleb was getting whatever he wanted. Even those 2 drops, those guys were both wide open. They were both wide open. Both those drops, Loveland was open, Burden was open. Those were both should have been completed passes. They couldn't stop you. Why are you running and I think at one point, Sean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think in the last drive of the game they did a QB sneak as well for 4th down. So there's another 1 yard gain for loss of 25 seconds. Like I just didn't like the clock management. I didn't like the play calling on the last drive, and I didn't like the play call to end the game. I didn't like overloading the short side of the field, overloading the left side of the field. I didn't like doing that because that's where the entire defense went. And then as soon as the right tackle, Darnell Wright, now I think it wasn't his assignment to block that defensive end because he let him in. I think DeAndre Swift was supposed to chip him. Somebody was supposed to chip him on their way out. I think it might have been Smythe standing behind him. But once that defensive end on the right side of the line got in and Caleb had to roll to his left, that game was over. The game was over because then Caleb could only see that part of the field. But I thought the play calling was suspect at the end of the game. I thought the time management was suspect at the end of the game. And I thought the last play of the game was one of his worst play calls of the entire game. You guys, maybe I'm just nitpicking. Maybe I'm just brokenhearted from a game I think the Bears could have won. But
I think
what do you think, Sean?
He should have been giving Caleb some shots of the end zone in that
I agree with that, man. I think they should have. You had Colston Loveland and Luther Burden dominating this game. I understand they had those drops, but I agree, man. I thought they should have took a couple of shots at the end zone. Look, this secondary outside of Lenore is not good. It's just not a good defense. No. That guy, I can't remember his name, the guy who helped Jahade Walker up off the field. God, I can't remember his name. In his post-game interview, he goes, after the game, I said a prayer. Thank God we were able to make that play. They're just not that good. And I'm with you, Brandon. I thought you should have taken at least 2 cracks at that end zone and tried to make it. If it didn't work, maybe then you try that hook and ladder play with time running out. But I'm also with you, Kyle. I thought time management at the end of the game was just a learning spot for the Bears. And even if they were lined up wrong, everything happened so fast because the timeouts weren't utilized properly. You had 3 timeouts with 2:12 when you got the ball to begin with, and they evaporated so quickly. So time management, which wasn't
why he used them so early?
That's what I'm saying. Like time management.
Sean, what's the point you made today? Bring that. I forgot what you told me today, but it was a really good point. You said something along the lines of Ben should have clocked that ball and then called.
Oh, he should have on the timeout. When he called the timeout, but I think it was the play before the hook and ladder, he should have clocked the ball there and saved the timeout for the next play. Then he has the timeout. You can set up the hook and ladder. You can set up on anything.
Yeah, so then you at least get 2 plays. Then you get 2 plays with the end of the game. Yeah. Listen, and I'm not. I don't want to make this show. First of all, the Bears. What an outstanding performance by the Chicago Bears. They
100%. I'm not beating up on them.
With who I believe, you guys, if this team beats Seattle next week, are they not the favorites in the NFC to win the Super Bowl? If the Niners beat Seattle next week and they're the number 1 seed, are they not the favorites to win the Super Bowl in the NFC?
Yeah.
Who would you pick over them? Who would you pick over them? Yeah, I think they'll be the number. And you just went toe-to-toe with them. You just went 4 quarters. You lost by 1 single throw at the end of the game. There's nothing for the Bears to be, at least for the Bears offense, there's nothing to be ashamed of. The Bears offense is starting to look like a well-oiled machine. They're starting to look a lot like the Detroit Lions from 2 years ago or last year, where they averaged 33 points a game. And they're starting to look like they can score the ball against any defense. It doesn't matter.
And I will tell you this, and I don't want to beat up because the Bears too much because I am super proud of this team and what they've accomplished this year, and especially Caleb. But if you go back and you look at that play, the last play of the game where the time ran out, at the beginning of the play, DeAndre Swift pops out towards the boundary. There's nobody there. Now, the safety was coming around to get him from the top, from the back of the end zone, but he would have had the ball with momentum moving forward. They probably meet at about the 2-yard line, and now you're talking about a one-on-one matchup where he can move.
That's what I was talking about. That's why that letting that defensive end in, and I think that was designed, guys, because nobody even touched him. So the right defensive end came in, he had a free shot at Caleb. So Caleb,
everyone's beating up Shapiro for that play.
I think that was designed for him to roll to his left like that. But once you did that right side of the field basically becomes obsolete. Basically, you're not going to throw to the right side of the field because you're running away from that side of the field. So you're not going to get a chance to throw to DJ Moore. Well, I know people were like, DJ Moore was waving his arms. Do you guys know how tough of a pass that was going to be?
Yeah, I saw that too. I saw people say that. You're out of your fucking mind.
Absolute impossible.
If you're in the chat and you said that, shame on you. No
I will tell you this,
makes
Kyle,
that
on
pass.
On that particular play, the defense forgot about DJ Moore. DJ Moore, instead of hopping around like a moron in the end zone, should have followed behind the defense and got in Caleb's vision, and maybe Caleb can then make that because
I agree, Sean. I don't like any football player ever just standing there doing nothing.
What was this?
There's always something to do on a football field. Yeah, you can go contribute in some way, shape, or form. Like just standing there hoping that Caleb is going to stop and look around the entire field while he's about to get his head knocked off. While he's about to get his head knocked off, it's probably not going to happen, DJ. So you need to go make yourself available. Stop. And Sean, not only that, but even if he was going to do that jumping jacks, like I'm open. He was standing as close to the far sideline as like Caleb or DJ. At least give him 6 yards, move in 6 yards, bro. But he was just standing as far away from Caleb as he possibly could. And anybody who said that he had Colston Lovin open in the back of the end zone, maybe for a millisecond, but that linebacker who's about 4 yards in front of Colston Lovin, he was waiting. He was trying to coax Caleb into throwing that to Colston Lovin. That's what he was doing. He was trying to coax Caleb Williams into making that throw so he could knock it down or pick it off. That wasn't going to happen either. The fact of the matter is it just wasn't a good play call and it wasn't executed properly. That's the fact of the matter.
I got to get this out because everyone is ripping Cole Kmet. Cole Kmet is also the one who sprung the block, who sprung DeAndre Swift into the end zone.
Cole Kmet is not good enough credit.
So every play is not going to be perfect.
He has bad blocking plays. He has really good blocking plays.
Come on, guys.
But for a guy who came to the NFL and was projected to be a receiving tight end and a damn good one and make a lot of money, for him to say to the coaches, hey, if that's what you want me to do, you want my receiving career to basically be over, and now I'm just like a blocking guy. I'm just a role player on this team, and that hurts my next paycheck. And he just takes that role on graciously. He takes it with open arms. I love Cole Kmet, man. Cole Kmet's been to the restaurant I work at a couple times, guys. Nicest guy on the face of the planet. Doesn't carry himself like he's some rich athlete that doesn't have time for anybody. Super polite, respectful. I think Cole Kmet wants to do whatever it takes to win football games and win a championship. And I don't know if you guys ever noticed or not, but every time Caleb falls down or throws a touchdown or anything, the first person to go congratulate him or pick his ass up is Cole Kmet. He's a damn good teammate. Well, I think Cole Kmet does exactly what the Bears want him to do. I think Ben Johnson loves Cole Kmet. I think he absolutely loves Cole.
Let's talk about Luther Burden being left on the field.
Guys, off subject. I hate to do this on air, but did anyone mess with the memberships? Because I just got a couple of texts here, and it says our membership is paused on our site. We'll have to look into that. We'll guys, I'm getting a couple of texts from people in the chat right now. We'll look into this, and we'll hopefully get this corrected here very, very quickly.
It's the first I haven't gotten any.
I didn't hear it. And thanks, Relentless Mikey, because he just sent me.
Lindsay's on the show, so maybe Lindsay can go check it out for us.
Yeah,
Vernon, from what I understand, by all accounts, people are saying he's going to be okay. It's just a hamstring. He's not.
No, I just meant the teammates just.
Yeah, pretty disappointing that they just left Luther Burden down there.
Yeah, and I didn't.
The guy who carried
our
majority of the
brother pointed it out to me, and I had to go back and watch, and I was like, wow, they literally do just like walk away from his dead body.
I noticed it when it happened, man. I noticed it when it happened. Like this guy goes off.
He's in clear pain too, and he's
you just leave him down in the end zone. Even the Niners were trying to pick him up. Where are the Bears?
And he was in pain. Like
Yeah,
clearly,
and the Niner guy was like, "Hey man, you all right, dude?" Like he's trying to lift him up, pick him up, he's put him back on his feet. Like, you good, man? Like, why is there not Bears there? Like, yeah, are you good, man? But Luther, are you all right, dude? Like, that's
carry his
happened for a
ass
couple
to the.
times this year for the Bears, where people just the rest of the team walks off while somebody's
Luther
suffering.
Burden
in
should
pain.
have been
It's kind of
carried to the
ridiculous.
locker room by his teammates.
But you
That guy
guys, let's
left
talk about.
everything he had. Did you hear what he said after the game? They asked him questions about like the football of it, and he was like, "I was just really tired."
You guys, let's talk about this. I want, because Mikey said we got to stop beating the team down. Yeah, let's talk about the offense a little bit, because what an absolute phenomenal showing.
Look, it's not beating the team down. It's the deficiencies that we've talked about that are rearing their ugly head that are going to prevent this team from their ultimate goal in 2025.
You guys, as Bears fans and podcasters, we're here to evaluate the team in totality, right? It's not just the good things we want to sit here and talk about. We also need to talk about where the Bears can improve. And there's always going to be areas of improvement. Always. Even when the Bears are winning championships and we think they're the best team in the NFL, there's going to be one guy in the team where we're like, yeah, I love the Bears a lot, but man, that Briscoe guy. Next year we could go do without that guy. But I want to talk about Caleb Williams and Luther Bird in particular, and Colston Loveland, because you guys, what we're starting to see here, what's starting to shape out is
this Ben Johnson effect.
An embarrassment of riches. I mean, the Bears, if they can somehow keep this team together and healthy, they're going to be a damn good offense for the next 8, 10, 12 years, depending on who they decide to keep here. Obviously, I think at some point when DJ Moore's contract is up, if they don't trade him, he's probably going to be the first to go. But it seems like Luther Burden, Colston Loveland, and Roma Dunze are going to be surrounding Caleb Williams for the next at least 5-6 years. I mean, what's the ceiling of this? Could we be talking about the greatest show on turf in a couple of years? I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, but if Caleb's any better, fuck.
I think it's important to note too, man, that the guys that Ben Johnson came here and drafted immediately look like they might be your two best future stars on this football team. Honestly, Burden and Loveland look to be.
Well, give Antoine Round
everything you wanted and more.
Love Luther Burden, man.
Colston Loveland is a freak. The guy's a freak.
Yeah, he's really
and
good.
He's always open, and he's incredible, and he was worth every bit of that 10th overall pick. You can compare him to Tyler Warren for the rest of his career, man, but as long as they're both good football players, who fucking cares? But Luther Burden, 2nd round pick, criminal. That's criminal. After that game, now Packers fans finally have to confront something here.
Burden, real quick.
You never get to the point where like Burden was like, oh, he should have been drafted where Matthew Golden was. But after that game, it's like, shit, man. They passed on him to draft Matthew Golden.
Real quick, just to give a shout out and some props to somebody in 4-Star Chicago Sports here, guys. Last night, Chris Collinsworth was talking about that 3.6 yards per drop back, whatever he was saying about Luther Burden. Sean's been talking about this shit for a month now, guys. Luther Burden is up there with the top 5 receivers in the NFL, that when he is on the field, the team just does good things. I think you posted on our Facebook page, didn't you?
I might have.
Yeah.
Isn't he like top 5 in separation?
Yeah.
He's top 5 in separation. He's top. The stat that they were talking about last night is basically they break the game down into how many yards you're gaining per somebody on the field, somebody running routes, and basically the Bears are at their most productive when Luther Burden is running routes. That's when the Bears gain the most yards and are the toughest to stop. So, and by the way, guys, it's in the conversation. And Sean, you put this on the post, but he's in the likes of conversation with likes of what Puka Nacua, I think, was on that list.
I think
Jackson Smith, Jigma was on it. I think Devontae Adams was the other guy on that list. I mean, if Luther Burden is what we think he is, and he starts to get into that upper echelon of wide receivers, he's your number one for the next.
I think he's going to be there. I mean,
he could be one of the best receivers in the NFL.
I know Dustin. I don't know if Dustin agreed with me on this or if you guys any did, but I know I said this on the show many times that Luther Burden was by far the best and will be the best receiver on the Chicago Bears. I like Roma Dunze's skill set, but it's nowhere near what Luther Burden brings to this team.
Well, and they're two different skill sets, right?
Well, they're different.
Completely different skill sets. Like two totally different guys.
And you really missed
and
him
both
on
serve
that
a
last
purpose.
play.
I agree.
Rome is the best receiver at when Caleb's in trouble, he finds a way to get open. He finds a way to get in Caleb's field of vision.
And he's not.
He's a scramble. He's a scramble receiver. He's a phenomenal one.
And he's not necessarily like Roman Dunze doesn't strike me as one of those guys who's going to be running. Like if the Bears have the ball at their own 20-yard line,
I agree, Scottish.
Roman Dunze doesn't strike me as one of those guys who's going to catch a ball over the shoulder at the 50 and take it the rest of the field 50 yards for a touchdown. Luther Burden can't. Rome Odunze to me is the guy who comes back to the ball, he gets open, he catches it, he gets tackled. Maybe every once in a while he'll give you some extra yards after the catch, but for the most part, if there's a good tight coverage on him, he's probably going to get tackled. Luther Burden looks like he's going to be one of the best yak receivers in the NFL. I mean, every single time he catches the ball, he gets another 10 yards.
What was it?
And it doesn't matter if he runs around you or through you, but
No,
Luther Burden gets extra yards
it's
every
that
single
first step, dude. He's so fast.
The two plays in that Browns game should have really opened the world's eyes because he had nothing. I mean, he was buried. The two plays, if you guys remember which ones I'm talking about, because he had 6 catches in that game, but there was 2 in particular where he had nothing but defenders in front of him, and he juked and he spun and he found his way to like 60 extra yards between the 2 plays, and that's when I thought, oh shit, this guy is.
How about that huge third down?
This is different, man.
How about the huge third down yesterday? How about that third down yesterday where he caught the ball and then he came back inside and the defender kept running to the outside?
Yeah,
he picked up that was third down moves, and he picked up that first down, man. I mean,
he's so good, man.
He makes people look stupid.
You don't ever want to get too far ahead of yourself because you guys 2 years ago, Lions fans were like, we're going to be good for the next 10 years and this offense is going to dominate.
Yeah, don't take this for granted.
Look at him now. Yeah. So enjoy what you will last, but at the same time, guys, as long as Ben, Caleb, Luther, Rome, Colston, and the offensive line stays healthy, as long as these guys are here, that's what we talked about. Brennan, Sean and I talked about it in the offseason about hiring an offensive coach, because then your offensive coordinator can't be hired away from you, right? Like he is your offensive coordinator, right? That's the benefit of hiring an offensive coach. As long as these guys stay together for the next 10, 12 years, I think this is only going to get better. I think this Bears offense is going to be a force to be reckoned with.
Somebody, in regards to that, somebody had put, it was an NFC North group, and I think it was posted by a Packers fan. I don't know where he got the information from. I would believe
what was that?
A guy posted the Bears are getting poached this offseason.
Oh, yeah,
Declan Doyle, Al Harris, Eric Bieniemy, and
we'll see.
Somebody else are already apparently on head coaching visit lists.
Press Taylor's been on.
They also said Matt LaFleur is going to get fired.
Declan Doyle is
going to be the new coach. We'll see. We'll see. I'm not even.
Well, the one that scares me about Al Harris, guys, the one that scares me about Al Harris is you don't have to hire him as a head coach. You can make him a defensive coordinator, and that's still a
promotion.
It's still a promotion. So he would leave the Bears if he gets offered a defensive coordinator job. He's going to, and he should.
The one thing you got to have faith in is Ben Johnson hired all these guys, so he'll go out, do his due diligence, and he'll get some studs back in here to take their places. I mean, for me,
Al Harris
your coaching tree is getting coached. That's a really good sign.
Al Harris might have some guy that I don't know, like I guess he'd probably hire him to his own staff. But guys, I do want to say this. We've talked a lot about this coaching staff and how good it is and what Ben's done and bringing them all together. Dennis Allen worries me. Because I don't know that this Bears team is on defense is less talented as their production. I don't know that I told you guys this before the season. They're not a top 10 unit. To me, they were somewhere between 18 and 24. But the way they played in that game yesterday, they were the worst defense in football.
Yeah, but that didn't take them out. They're still, I think they're 20th in pass. I think they're 19th against the run. I think they're like points against. I think they're like fucking 20, 21. So, they're exactly where you expect them to be. I think that I
said 18 to 24 before the
season. I don't know
started.
if you remember or not, but when we were digging into Dennis Allen and his career and where he's coming from, when he got to the Saints, they were 31st in total defense. By the time his last year as a defensive coordinator, not as head coach, but his last year as a defensive coordinator, they were top 5 in every statistical category. I think Dennis Allen needs time, and
he needs time.
He needs guys, man. He needs his guys, because the guys that Ryan Poles put this defense together, he did it for Matt Eberflus, and it's not the same defense. It's not and I think one thing that's, like I said, whoever brought that up in the chat, thank you so much, because I think one thing Dennis Allen does know he needs to add in the offseason, guys, is speed. At first, the linebacker position, B, the safety position, and most importantly, defensive end. The Bears need more speed there, man. They have to get more speed.
And James,
he needs his nickel.
I'm really glad that James said this, because this
that might never happen.
This is kind of exactly where I am. I think he's constrained by the talents that he has on this defense. Obviously,
Well, Sean, and injuries, right? Because
and
we
injuries,
could have Terrell Smith, we could have Zay Frazier, we could have Kyler Gordon, we could
bouncing
Shamar
in and
Turner.
out.
Like, it's a lot of injuries.
And again, there's a lot of
Dial.
defensive shortcomings, obviously, but that all starts with injuries. Injuries pile up. You slow down. Your body hurts. You're not the same player. Granted, these players stay healthy throughout the season. I think you still see an improving defense. I think they're declining. They're hurt. They're banged up. They keep getting re-injured. I personally think
It's concerning.
Now, I will say this: the Bears are the only team in the NFL to have 42 points scored on them 3 times this season. But still, I think Dennis Allen has done an impressive job getting the results he has with what he's had to work with. Let's not forget he got a W with 3 missing linebackers, an entire secondary that wasn't there, and he figured out a way to make it work. I thought that he would dial up a couple of special plays that would catch the Niners off guard. I will say I'm a little disappointed in that, like a safety blitz or disguise some blitzes where they didn't see it coming to try and stop, any of these drives that were happening consistently. I didn't see any of that yesterday, and that kind of
too much zone, man.
Yeah, there was a lot of
much zone. I'm like, guys,
too much.
Brock is tearing the zone apart. He's absolutely show some confidence in your guys and make a play man to man. Let's see what Nahshon Wright's made of. Let's see what Tyreek Stevenson's made of. Let's see what these guys. Jalen Johnson can play man to man. He loves it, but so much zone in that.
Yeah,
guys, they were just finding open space.
Jalen Johnson's the reason Edwards got that touchdown. Jalen Johnson's 100% responsible for that TJ Edwards touchdown.
I don't think he's healthy either. And I think this is what we're going to have to – I think this is going to have to be what we deal with.
No, James, real quick, Sean. James, I was the one who said I would not sign Nahshon Wright to a contract extension because if you get rid of the takeaways, he is not a very good corner. I said that. You guys know I said that since day one. You get rid of the takeaways, and takeaways come and go. Like, you guys remember the season Trayvon Diggs had 9 picks?
I like Nahshon.
He's had 3 in 3 years since.
Nahshon Wright's always been terrible in coverage.
James.
Yeah, but sometimes takeaways are luck. Sometimes it's luck.
I was definitely
quarterback was a bad pass. Sometimes it's luck.
I actually said for myself, it would depend what he requires. And I told you earlier, Kyle, if you get him for a 1-year, $1 million contract as a backup, I'm all in. But if I'm signing him to a 3-4 year deal,
let's
not happening.
These two guys have they have the same pro and con, James. They're playmakers. They make plays on the ball. The unfortunate side of it is if they're not doing that,
it's feast or famine.
They're providing nothing because they're not good in coverage. You would not call Nahshon Wright a lockdown corner. You would not call C.J. Gardner-Johnson even a remotely talented nickel. Honestly, C.J. Gardner-Johnson to me in regards to nickels would rank somewhere in the bottom half of the league. I don't think these two guys are cover guys, and that's posing a very big threat to this Bears defense right now, especially because they're not pressuring good quarterbacks. So these guys can take the ball away. CJ can take, and he'll get a sack. He's a playmaker, but he's not doing his play-to-play job very well.
Who's that?
Gardner Johnson. And you guys, there's reasons that Gardner Johnson was a free agent, and
he's been on 5 teams in 3 years.
And Nahshon Wright was on a practice squad. Like, you guys, they clearly have limitations. There's no doubt about it. Now, obviously, Nahshon Wright's had really good year in terms of takeaways, and he's probably had some luck. I mean, definitely the J.J. McCarthy pick, the first pick of the year, the touchdown, that was luck. I mean, he jumped that route, but that was not a good pass. Should never have been thrown. But, I mean, if you have a season next year where Nahshon Wright only has 2 takeaways, and he's the same Nahshon Wright we watched yesterday with 2 takeaways, he's one of the worst corners in football. So, no, you cannot extend him. I mean, like Sean said, if he wants to come back here to be a backup because he wants to be part of this Bears organization, he loves the coaching staff, and he's not getting contract offers elsewhere, I'm all for it. But if you're talking about Nahshon Wright coming in the negotiation room saying, I want to be a starter, so I want to be paid $9 million a year minimum, $8 million a year minimum, not a chance in hell. Not a chance in hell.
And you want to know
that is not hell.
You want to know something too? We talked about this a little bit ago. I personally, you guys may see it different. I think we need to get better at the edges, but I don't think they're the problem. It's the interior. Time and time again, quarterbacks are allowed to step up in the pocket. They don't get any kind of consistent inside push. And then if we continue to go on from there, when you're asking the Bears to blitz, you're leaving these guys in one-on-one coverage with guys like Nahshon Wright and C.J. Gardner-Johnson who can't cover a lick. So you're setting yourself up for failure. So we got to – for me, I don't think there is a way that this defense is just going to all of a sudden be some juggernaut.
It's not, and the coaches talked about it. They talked about it after the game. There's no quick fix to this. This is going to be
but
they have to get better at the details and hope they can have one more stop game. That's the goal. One more stop game than they're having right now.
If Gordon returns and he's Kyler Gordon,
they would improve.
I don't think that you're going to see personally, and you guys may think different. I don't think you're going to see the real Jalen Johnson, the real Kyler Gordon. Those two alone, I don't think you're going to see
Kyler Gordon again.
Yeah,
I think you'll see him for the playoffs. The Bears will push him for the playoffs. He's eligible to come off for the first round of the playoffs, and if he could get on the field, I think the Bears will try it because guess what? You win or you go home, and you got 8 months to lick your wounds.
Or Sean, they'll make him warm up before the game, and he'll tear his groin or his hamstring or whatever he has.
Don't say that shit about my boy. I know it's been a rough year, man.
Well, that's what happened to him the first time.
I know. I love Kyler Gordon.
Dustin read a statistic.
I'm having a hard time dealing with this.
Yes, Romy.
Dustin read a statistic where the defense with Kyler Gordon on the field was ranked like 6th. Mm-hmm. Without him, they were ranked like 19th or something. I don't remember the exact numbers, but it was something like that.
I don't think let's get some of the chat
dude
here.
makes a major impact.
I agree. I think Kyler Gordon does make a major impact.
You guys, let's get to
depends on how healthy Kyler Gordon is when you put him back into the lineup.
Guys, that position.
Hold on, you guys. These guys are asking us questions, so let's get to some of these questions.
Hold on, and in this defense, that might be the most important position. It might.
It could be.
Romy
that guy does it all.
DA wanted.
He does everything.
That's the guy he talked about before he was hired.
You guys, Romy says, can this D be fixed in one offseason? I'm assuming he means just one offseason.
I think it can be improved dramatically. I don't know.
No, I mean, if you're talking about like championship caliber, like the Eagles last year, probably not. But if you're talking about a team that can hold teams to 24 points instead of 30, yes, I think the Bears.
Romy, I think the defense in the NFL is the most cohesive unit in sports. I think the front seven, those guys up front rely, or I'll say the front four, rely on those guys in the back just as much as the guys in back rely. And one side of this unit is not doing their job at all. I think the Bears can be fixed pretty quickly on defense because I still believe they have a very talented secondary, guys.
Well, when it's healthy.
I do. Well, between the linebackers and this line, you have got to get somebody that applies pressure, and it will make this secondary shine again. I assure you it will. They're talented players, and they need some fucking help.
And to flex Dick's points here, this D has been opportunistic. That's the thing that's not changing. You know what? We're not going to change it because after yesterday's game, the Bears now have 5 losses. The key component in all those 5 losses, 1 takeaway or less. So without the takeaways, with the takeaways, the Bears are the 16th ranked defense in DVOA. If you strip all that away, the Bears are bottom 5 in every defensive metric. So the Bears need those. They need those takeaways. They need those opportunistic moments. And I will tell you this, and I mean this wholeheartedly: if you bring that cheap ass call that got called on C.J. Gardner-Johnson back on that pick, we're having victory Monday. I fully believe that play changed the game. You're not having the stress going down because the Bears then have the chance to double up, which they ran. They scored. Didn't they score coming out of the half?
The Bears did, yes.
Yeah, the Bears scored, so you would have had the chance to double up and put this game. Now San Francisco's on their heels, but who knows what the Bears would have done with that pick, but you stopped San Francisco from scoring. I just think that play right there, when you talk about opportunistic defense, that was their opportune moment. They got hosed by the officials. I think it was a cheap call, and I think it turned the game around. But still, you cannot put up 42 points, let another team put up 42 points regardless. So I'm not going to put that all.
Romy, we'll dig into all that stuff the second the season ends. We'll start giving you guys, and we go on Wednesday's show. Brennan and Dustin do their own thing on the bare minimum, but on Wednesday's show with Sean and I, we go through position groups. So we'll give you the top 12 corners in the draft, the top 12 safeties in the draft, the top 12 defensive tackles, top 12, and then we kind of take our opinions of who we think would fit the Bears the best, and then some deep sleepers in the draft, guys like Austin Booker. I think we talked about before he was ultimately drafted by the Bears in the 5th round, where the Bears traded for a 5th round pick to draft Austin Booker. But we'll go into all those guys, and we'll give you information on all of them. But yeah. Right now, guys, this is just what it is.
That's our content all off season.
Yeah, this is just what it is. I mean, this is your defense without Kyler Gordon here. Without Kyler Gordon here, I mean, maybe you get to Marco Jackson on the field more. Now that Sewell's out, maybe this defense gets a little bit faster. Maybe this defense gets a little more efficient. But right now, this is what it is. And if the Bears don't take the ball away, they're not going to win football games. And you're going to get into the playoffs. And a lot of the quarterbacks are going to play in the playoffs are very good with the football and do not put it in harm's way a ton. So the
Now,
Bears have to be creative.
now, Kyle, technically, I should say the Bears are 2-5 when they take away one or less because they won against the Packers last week when they only had one takeaway. But technically, they had two because on that onside
was a
kick, Dobbs
giveaway.
had it, but they didn't count it. They gave the Bears one takeaway against the Packers on the stat sheet. I looked before I looked this up today. They gave the Bears
that
one
wasn't
takeaway.
that
They
wasn't
should
a
have had two.
recovery. You think that was a recovery fumble? I think that was just a botched
Well,
recovery.
Well, Dobbs had the ball in his hand, and then I think it was Sewell who hit him. He dropped the ball. That would be
crushed him.
That would be a fumble, wouldn't it?
No, I don't think
crazy.
by the NFL's rules, Sean, I don't think he ever had full possession. He certainly didn't make a football move.
And that would be true. So technically, when the Bears take the ball away one time or less, they're 2-5 on the season.
And who was it? The Eagles was the other win because they only took the ball
Eagles.
once.
I believe it was the Eagles. The other one, yeah.
Well, I want to dig into Caleb Williams a little bit, guys, because obviously we've heard Ben Johnson say earlier in the season we're going to be playing our best football in the month of December, and obviously the Bears defense didn't get that memo, but it seems to me like Caleb Williams did, and he, to me, yesterday's game put him into a higher echelon than where he was at, because Chris Collinsworth talked about it ad nauseum, and I hate to quote Chris Collinsworth because I absolutely despise the man, but he talked about how good Caleb's getting at taking the dump offs, right? He just keeps finding the dump off, keep finding what the defense is giving you, and then take those big shots down the field when like, for instance, when Caleb got them to jump off sides, great time to take a shot downfield. The Luther Burden touchdown.
That was a high awareness play.
Yeah. Well, and Caleb, that was a designed cadence to try to get them to jump off sides. I mean, that whole play,
Honestly,
that
play was really weird.
Ben Johnson talked about it. He said, Caleb, we designed one play where Caleb would go hard in his cadence, and he would try to get him to jump off sides, and then we'd try to take advantage, take a shot downfield, and that's exactly what Caleb did. He got him to jump off sides, and Colston broke off his route, started to run basically wherever he wanted to, and Caleb found him in the end zone. And then Ben Johnson followed it up with, you see 2 or 3 throws a game where I just feel like personally, and maybe I'm biased, but I feel like Caleb is the only quarterback in the NFL who can make these throws. So if Caleb continues to get better at the little things, and you guys, there's not that much more to get better at, because Sean, ever since you and I were harping on his completion percentage, he's gotten better. He has, because he was down in the 40s at one point. Now he's back up to around 60%. If that continues to go up, and first of all, the Bears have the most yards in the NFL by drops. Now 400 yards by drops in the NFL. So Caleb would certainly be. Let me ask you a question real quick before I forget this. It's not necessarily related, but now that Caleb just threw for 300 whatever yards, how many yards did he throw for in that game? 320 or something?
I think it's 325.
330 yards. So now that Caleb did that, do you guys think against this porous Detroit secondary, Caleb's going to hit 4,000 yards? Do you think he'll get the 270? I think he will. I think he's going
for 4,000.
I think he will, and I think it's worth noting that Caleb has proven himself to be a quarterback that can do whatever you need him to do to win a football game, even if it's just relying on the run like we did in Philadelphia. Just make a throw here or there, Caleb. Get a first down, keep the chains moving. But more importantly, Kyle, we talk about generational, whatever you want to, first round overall. They kept saying he's the first overall pick, playing Mr. Irrelevant, whatever.
Yeah,
the difference in an elite,
got old too. That got real old too.
We beat that to death. But like, the difference to me in an elite franchise quarterback is you're not a quarterback you can win with. You're a quarterback you win because of. You've heard Ryan Pohl say it. Caleb is that guy, and that to me says that, especially with the aid of Ben Johnson, we are going to have one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL for a long period here in the future. So I think it's worth noting after that game, Kyle, I think it's worth noting, like, if he needs to play like he did in yesterday's, if for whatever reason, guys, Ben Johnson didn't run the ball, but if he has to shoot out, if he's got to let him rip, he'll play that football game with you. And I think Caleb can play anything to keep this offense.
Detroit's secondary is putrid, especially without Brian Branch. They are.
Yeah, I think it's going to depend.
We'll get into that.
Trey, he's definitely past the Kramer. No doubt.
If we have no Luther Burden, we have no Roma Dunze, it might make it a little tough. you may have to try and run on these guys a little.
I don't
bit.
know, man. I want to see more Johnny Walker. I want to see more.
I do too. Because I'll tell you two things. First thing,
I think I know where you're going here. I think I know where
you guys brought up the completion percentage. I let Dustin and Brandon talk me off the ledge with this completion percentage stuff because when I started really looking into it and I say, drops and people don't look and take those things into consideration when you're looking at throwaways for sacks. When you start adding those things in, you say, man, that really does affect your completion percentage. And I'd rather have him throw the ball out of bounds and affect his completion percentage than throw a pick or just do something stupid, take a sack.
or torn ACL on a sack, for 100%.
Yeah, so I'm totally okay with that. The other thing
it will improve, Sean. It will improve.
Next year, I believe it will.
Next year, that number will be better.
Because he's going to play. He's going to play with
making a believer out of me. The other thing,
going to watch a lot of film this offseason.
Is I never thought, because I love this guy so much, and he's become one of my favorite Bears in a short time here.
Yeah, I knew you were going here.
And I will celebrate him until the day that I die because I love DJ Moore. I met DJ Moore twice. The guy is a really nice individual. I'll never forget this catch. It's going to be one of my favorite catches in the last 20 years of Bears history. But you have to find a way to get salary. John A. Walker, call me crazy, but he's almost Tesla. How do you say his name? Tesla. He almost has hands like him. He doesn't drop anything. He seems to be able to get open, and you need to find a way. Let's not forget if you got a contract coming up for Darnell Wright. Darnell Wright, if you're going to pay him where he should be paid around Lane Johnson and Penei Sewell. Penei Sewell right now is at $28 million, right around $28 million, I believe. So if you're going to pay him, and I believe Lane Johnson's right in that same realm, $25 million, I think. So you're looking at somewhere in between $20 to $25 million that you're going to have to pay Darnell Wright coming up. You're going to have to cut some salary. And you may have
to address the defense.
And you have to address the defense. And you got to figure out a way to get Deo off your books because that guy can suck my ass.
That guy does suck.
Dude, I will say this. All that being said, DJ Moore's probably going to have a monster game this week if those other two guys don't.
I hope he does.
He's going to have like 200 fucking yards and 2 touchdowns. He burns this Detroit team.
It would hurt me, and I just said to the people in the chat here, I love everybody in a Bears uniform, even the players who aren't necessarily amazing. I still, you're a Bear. I root for you above anybody else, but losing DJ would hurt in a different way. He's just. There's just something about DJ I like a lot, man. He's a consummate professional. He's a family man. He's a good dude. He does a lot for the community. He's a damn good player.
Well, he was happy
Let's not
to
forget
play
that.
here.
He's a damn good player.
He was happy to come to this shit organization, the condition it was in, because he was so fed up with that organization he was a part of prior. Because that guy over there,
yeah, I agree with
ownership
James.
In that Carolina franchise. Good God,
I agree with James. I think DJ Moore does ultimately get traded, but I don't think it's this season. I think it's next. I think they want one more year where they still want Caleb to develop in this offense.
He stays on the books next year?
No.
Yeah, yes, I do.
If you're going to trade him, you trade him now.
They want Caleb
value.
I think they still consider Caleb to be developed in the development period of the stage of his career. I think that they think that they're like, well, let's give Caleb no excuses. Let's give him every single playmaker and every single good offensive lineman and every single a good run game, everything we could possibly give him to make him as comfortable as possible so he can develop as a franchise quarterback in the NFL. And if that's the goal, if that's still the goal going into next season for the first half of next season, then I believe that DJ is a big part of that. I mean, you guys, what would have happened this year if we didn't have DJ when Rome and Burton got hurt?
Yeah,
he's throwing to Zacchaeus and Walker.
We're certainly not seeing this.
What sucks is DJ Moore gives blood, sweat, and tears, and that catch against the Packers, guys. I mean, it might be my favorite play of any Chicago Bears season I've ever watched of all time, besides maybe Hester's return in the Super Bowl.
It's got to be up there because
it felt that way, you know.
Well, and Caleb made a statement on that throw. DJ made a statement on that throw. The Bears made a statement to the Packers on that throw. I mean, it has to be.
Johnson made a statement to Matt fucking LaFleur.
And you want to know?
Wait, Sean, real quick. Have you guys seen this? Chris Kelly?
No, I have not seen Chris Kelly. Chris Kelly, what's going on? Thanks for hopping in. You get one of these.
Thanks for.
What's up, Chris?
Caleb not missing a start, has not missed a start in his career, and has been hit almost more than any other quarterback in the NFL in the last 2 seasons. Caleb's an absolute badass. He's a tough son.
Here, and if I can't stress this enough, because DJ's a good guy. DJ has a place here, guys. I'm not advocating for DJ Moore to go anywhere. I can't, Kyle. You can back me up on this. I love this dude. I love DJ Moore.
Yeah, well, everyone who watches this show knows that.
Sean has a shrine.
I don't want DJ Moore to go anywhere.
Every person who watches this show consistently knows that you love DJ Moore and Kyler Gordon. Everybody knows that.
Yes,
but no,
it makes sense though to trade him to get money on the books.
I was just gonna say it, Joe.
But
it does.
Believe me, if he's here for 18 more games or 17 more games next season, fuck. I'm not gonna be pissed. Not at all.
And I'm not suggesting they should, guys, but Sean's right. This is a business.
Yeah, but James, if you trade him,
if you're going to trade him,
you do save money if you trade him because you don't pay his salary. The team you trade him to does.
I think if you're going to trade him, you have to this season.
I agree.
Well, you guys, I think there's Vernon. Vernon, look at Bearski says right here. Sell high.
He has like a bottom first round. He's a high second round pick at the least, right?
No,
do you take anything less than a high second round pick for a DJ Moore?
I'm gonna guess a third. He's not gonna hit 1,000 yards this season. That's gonna hurt his value. And let's face it, guys. DJ Moore had 1 catch last night, and the Bears didn't skip a beat. Like they didn't skip a beat. No disrespect to DJ Moore.
Well, that's why
1 catch for 7 yards, and the Bears scored 38 points.
It's logically correct.
He's not necessarily like
and I like this.
Like without him, you're done.
And I like your new logo, Bearski. I think that's pretty badass too. It says sell high. If you're going to sell DJ, you do it this offseason or before the trade deadline next year.
Sean, how about this trade proposal from Bearski? Yeah, I know you love this one on both sides.
Buffalo second
for DJ Moore. DJ with Josh Allen, and the Bears get a second round pick. That's Sean.
I wouldn't mind my boy Joshua getting a playmaker. That's for damn sure.
That would be.
I'll tell you, if Joshua Allen had a playmaker against the Eagles yesterday, they probably win that football game. Although he did blow that 2 point.
Yeah, but James, if the owner saves money, it's called cash over cap. So if the owner saves money, that's money he can put back into the team. If he pays it in cash, it doesn't count against their salary cap. So if we trade DJ and it saves George McCaskey $12 million in cash, he knew that money was already committed to the team. He could take that money, that cash, and give it to somebody else or spread it out amongst numerous players. It's called cash over cap. And you guys, we're going to have an NFL agent on to explain that because cash over cap gets very confusing when you start digging.
How about this guy?
The salary cap in the NFL is not a hard cap. You can spend. Owner can spend as much cash as you want.
One night stand here, checking in.
No, I don't think I've ever seen one night stand either.
What's going on one night stand?
How about that? He proposes you trade DJ in a first for Max Crosby.
Yeah, I've seen that online.
You think
I saw DJ? I didn't see DJ. I think I saw DJ.
And I like it, man.
First and a third.
I like it, man. I just don't. I don't know if they would do that. Maybe I don't know. Maybe the first round pick would entice them enough, but they could probably get 2 first round picks, right? Or first and a second. When you think they would rather take that than DJ Moore? And
I don't know. They just traded Jacoby Myers. They got nothing.
This one night stand. That actually intrigues me because
James, I'm going to have to Sean. You know the guy who comes to River Street. James, we talk to an NFL agent. He comes to River Street all the time.
Yeah.
He's got 4 Packers. He's got 5 Vikings. I talked to him for 3 hours one day about this. I'm like, so the salary cap in the NFL, that's it. He went over it. He's like, no, there's something called cash over cap. Owners can spend more money than the salary cap out of their own pocket with cash. They have to pay cash. Not a lot of owners do it, but they can if they're willing to do it. And teams in the past have done it. I think the Saints did it with Drew Brees, didn't they, Sean? Isn't that who he said?
Thanks, one night stand.
It was like 40.
Your name's awesome, buddy.
The Saints at one point, if you would have considered the cash over cap, the Saints were like $39 million over the cap.
All you have to do is look at the Kansas City Chiefs last year. They were in the red, and they signed 6 of their top players back to their team and decided to trade.
And James, I'm not trying to tell you, James, I'm not trying to tell you wrong. I promise you, when we get this NFL agent on, he's going to come on
the show.
He's a friend of mine now. He's a good dude. We'll get him on the show. I promise you, he'll break that all down. And there's going to be some stuff you're going to be like, I never even knew that existed. I never even knew it existed. It's crazy. What goes into NFL contracts, guys? This is why we're going to get the NFL agent on, because if I tried to sit here and explain it to you, I would screw it up so badly because it is so much more complicated than anybody thinks. These guys are lawyers. That's what they are. The NFL agents are lawyers. That's what
Jake
they are.
Duquesne is small for cutting Edmonds. That's a different approach. I haven't heard that yet.
If you have a replacement linebacker in mind, like somebody
Marco Jackson.
Yeah, I wouldn't be heartbroken if they cut ties with Edmonds.
Well, he said and replace him with a rookie. He did put a plan in place.
Yeah, no, Stan, we all agree with you, man. We all love DJ to the death. Man, he's one of my favorite Bears. But at the end of the day, this is a business. It's not a charity, and it's not about who you love. It's about winning Super Bowls. And if you can somehow, James, I don't know, we'll bring that. Like I said, I don't want to say something that I'm wrong about. But if you could somehow clear up any money at all by DJ Moore not being on this team, even if it means you have to use cash over cap, whatever, then I would love to have a defensive end over DJ Moore. I just think Jade Walker, Rome Odunze, and Luther Burden can do the job. I don't think DJ Moore is necessarily a necessity. And James, I agree with you. I don't expect McCaskey's to spend a ton more money, but this is money that you already had committed to DJ Moore. You know what I'm saying? Like it would be money that you already thought was out of your pocket.
You're freeing cap.
You already have lost that money. So you'll be like, oh, well, I have this $12 extra million in my pocket, but this money was supposed to go to the Bears this year. It's just because we made this trade. Now it's not. I'm just going to give that money we'll readjust Sweat's contract. We'll restructure his contract and we'll give him cash over cap. So it's not $28 million against the cap. It's only 18. Or it's only 16, or it's only, I don't know. It'll be so much easier to explain it when the NFL agent comes on. I promise you guys, I will get him on at some point this offseason. I promise.
And
he's
guys,
a good dude, really good
dude. We're talking about Caleb, and I don't know, for those aren't familiar with CPOE, it's completion percentage over expectations, key metric, shows how quarterback is in his actual completion in completion moments compared to what's expected. And obviously a positive one is indicating a high skill level of execution. A negative one suggests there was difficulty and struggles with the passing. And I found this yesterday from it was either StatHead or Next Gen Stats. And a gap that's often decides close games is completion percentage over expectation. Brock Purdy was plus 5% yesterday. Caleb Williams was negative 2.7%. Now, it was a very close game, but if Caleb Williams gets that number up yesterday a little bit higher, there's a possibility maybe the Bears win this game. That just shows how much better Brock Purdy was. Brock Purdy was outstanding.
Dude, he's been. Nobody's talking about this.
And not that Caleb wasn't.
You guys, I have Brock Purdy in one of my fantasy leagues, and people were telling me, were suggesting maybe dropping him, pick up a Trevor Lawrence. I'm like, guys, this guy scored 8 touchdowns last 2 weeks. Why would I possibly drop this guy and not play him in fantasy until he stops throwing 5 touchdowns or scoring 5 touchdowns a game? I'm not going to stop playing him. That's ridiculous.
And James, it is true. I've sat down with him and he's explained it to me, but again, I'm not a lawyer, and I'm not going to pretend that I actually remember half the shit that he said.
Sean was. I was working. Sean was drinking.
But all I have to say is go look
for this salary cap show.
Yeah, go look at where the Chiefs were prior to the free agent season last year. The Chiefs were negative. They were over the cap by, I think it was like 2.5 million. We were talking about it on our show. I said, dude, how are they going to sign all these studs that they have? Somehow the Chiefs maneuvered, moved stuff around, cash over cap. They signed all these players. The one they couldn't, obviously the Bears are benefiting from in 2025. So there is a way.
How much did they give Smith? They gave him a lot, right?
They gave him a lot of money. But they also signed their top linebacker. What's his name? Who's their stud linebacker?
Yeah, I know you're talking about. The linebacker that signed in the offseason. The stud. Who's the agent?
Yes, Bolden. And then they got Karlaftis. They signed the lineman. I mean, and I was like,
they extend McDuffie too?
Yep, they extended him, and I'm sitting here looking at this going into the season like the Chiefs are done. They have no money.
They were anyway. It didn't matter.
They're done anyway.
Last Les,
Mark my words.
if you want to go back
the
on the show,
Chiefs,
we talked about Tremaine Edmonds a lot.
as
man.
long as
he
Patrick
has not been
Mahomes
good
is
since he's been
okay,
back.
the Chiefs and Lions will be back in 2026. Mark my words on this.
Well, the
Those
best
two
thing that could
teams are not
happen,
done.
best thing that could happen to the Chiefs is that somebody else hires Matt Nagy off their staff.
Dude, I
I mean, I know it's
heard the
Andy
Jets
Reid's
are
offense,
interested.
but that offense, something's got to give over there.
Oh, no,
man.
the Giants. The
I was
Giants.
going to say the
Chiefs just aren't
Jets
the
just
same
came out
team.
and said they're keeping. What's his name?
Mahomes is the same dude. Chiefs just aren't the same team, not the same offense.
Yeah, it's
Actually,
crazy.
They actually played pretty good defense.
The offensive line was very shaky at times this season. Mahomes did a lot more running than I know he'd like to.
Well, and I said this
Mahomes,
before the
people have gotten
season
so used to
started.
Mahomes being an athletic freak, but
Pacheco is just a
can't
dude,
do it forever.
man. He's just a guy.
And you know,
I don't think Pacheco's good at all. To be honest with you,
He's just a
Pacheco.
guy.
And
They
hey
need a
guys, I hate
running
to say
back.
it. What you think of Pacheco, you guys might be saying about Kyle Monangai in the very near future. I understand he looks great and flashy now, but
yeah, but Monangai runs over people a lot harder than Isaiah Pacheco.
Pacheco is a very violent runner.
Yeah,
dude.
but not, dude. If him and Monangai ran into each other full speed, if Monangai I promise you that shit.
I don't hate Kyle Monangai. I just think you can upgrade from Kyle Monangai if you keep DeAndre Swift and be more explosive. That's just where
I like Monangai for the purpose he serves. I think the Bears are asking too much of him. I think they're asking too much of him. I think they're saying, hey, you're going to be in the red zone too. You're going to catch the ball out of the backfield. But if you're asking Monangai, if you're like, hey, we just need a guy to go in there and pound the defensive line, beat the shit out of him, slow him down, tire him down a little bit, I think Monangai is like perfect for that.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that.
I think that kid.
He's a stout young man, dude.
I'm very impressed.
The only concern I have for Kyle Monangai is he's not going to last very long in the NFL because I appreciate everything that guy does. That guy puts himself in harm's way 9 times out of 10 when he gets the ball in his hands. He is there to hit somebody, not get hit. And that is a punishing way to play football on yourself more than anyone, man. He doesn't want to receive a tackle. He wants to put somebody down. So he's beating himself up. He's not going to have a very long career the way he plays.
I don't think that's James. James, I certainly don't think that's
not even injury.
The top of their to-do list. I think DeAndre Swift had his best season as a professional. I think he should be used more. And I think
9 carries. We talked about that.
Monangai is doing exactly what they want him to do. I think
we talked about that earlier.
You guys, I'm pretty sure the Bears know Kyle Monangai is not Saquon.
I'll say this.
I'm pretty sure they know that shit. They know.
I'll say this: if Jadarian Price falls into the Bears' lap in this draft, you fucking take him, and you thank me later. Take that motherfucker, please. Please do that.
I would. I was thinking about it the other day because we're sitting here like, man, how many positions are we going to need on defense?
I like that, Paul. I like what Paul says there.
The way this is getting
like a Tariq Cohen kind of guy, like just
like a Keaton Mitchell.
Yeah, the scat back kind of guy.
All right, hold on. Let me fucking finish with it. The way this was getting this defense is getting exposed. We've sat here and talked about who do they defensive tackle, they need an edge, who they drafting first. Now they need a safety. Would it surprise either of you if Ben Johnson just made another offensive pick with the first round?
No, it wouldn't. Not at all.
No, but it wouldn't be the right move.
It would be. I was going to say it would be a big mistake.
Well, unless it was a Jahmyr Gibbs, unless you're getting that piece, man.
Yeah, you ain't getting Jahmyr Gibbs.
But you can always upgrade, man.
You ain't getting Jahmyr Gibbs at 28 in the draft.
Yeah, Bashard Smith finally got himself in the end zone.
You're not getting Jahmyr Gibbs at 26, 27, 28 in the draft.
What's that fucking guy's name? What is that quarterback's name on the Chiefs?
On the Chiefs? Oh, I don't know.
Alukan or something?
I think it's Naga. Not
gonna be here next year.
Yeah, I thought he played pretty well, man.
Dude, he had like 96 yards passing, bro.
Yes, guys.
He's Patrick Mahomes' best friend, apparently. He's not going anywhere.
Before we put a bow on this thing tonight, Romy just asked, "It's a must-win game against the Lions, right? We'll play. The Lions will play everyone the whole game." Yeah, Ben Johnson came out in his press conference today.
Yeah, we ain't benching anybody. We're not resting anybody, man.
And they're not resting the soul. Let's hope that we get out of that game healthy next week.
I assure you, this one's personal. This one's personal.
Yeah, it's not only personal, but and I know you guys are gonna call me crazy, but the Lions are gonna be hungry next week, and they're gonna try and bring it to the Bears. This is not gonna be an easy test for the Chicago Bears. next
I
week.
think the Bears are going to pound that
Sean,
fucking team.
I think the Lions are checked out, dude. They just lost to a team with negative passing yards. Bro, I think they're checked out, dude.
I'll just say this.
I think the
I'll
Lions
say
have been
this.
done. I think they've been
Those
done.
players on the Lions want to beat Ben Johnson. They want to go out on
They
their
already
shield.
they already did. It's
I'm
Ben's
just
turn.
I'm just saying I know everyone's sitting here thinking it's gonna be a walk in the park, Kazansky, and it's certainly not gonna be. It will not be.
I think Jared Goff's going to play outside in fucking January. He's going to be pretty goddamn
I think
uncomfortable. But
the Bears will score.
It was just a couple
both
years
will
ago.
score a lot of points, but the Bears will score a lot more points. I think
It
it'll
was
be like
just a couple
38
years
to
ago
27.
that
I
he
think
came
the
here and
Bears
ran the Bears out of Soldier Field in a
pound this
freezing
team.
cold
Yeah,
day.
with
if
a
you guys
damn good
remember.
offensive line and Ben Johnson.
I think
That's
the
true,
Bears.
too.
Now they have
I
neither.
think the Bears put a rifle to the head that is this Lions team licking its wounds, man. I think I think the Lions are like kind of asking to be put out of their misery, man. I think the Bears might go out there. This is in
JC,
Chicago. They just lost a game, man. I think the Bears come out here and pound this Lions team.
I agree
That's what I
with
think.
I agree with Jay Krillin or JC Road. The Lions right now, the Lions have a damn good roster, guys. But just what's happened to them this season with the injuries, Brian Branch, and then what's the other stud corner's name, Sean? The other guy they lost.
Is it Terrion Arnold? Is he
Yeah,
out?
Tyrion Arnold Scott. Yeah, like just losing all these guys and losing your half your offensive line for half the season, and
And making a terrible hire at offensive coordinator.
guys, they just don't. It'd be one thing if they looked like they were losing 28-29. I'd be like, the Lions are still a damn good team. But watch the Lions. Did you watch the Minnesota Detroit game? The Lions just aren't a good football team. They're not. And
That was
people could say, well, look at the
very
roster, look at this,
surprising.
but they're not playing like that, dude. Guys, go watch that Minnesota Lions game. Was painful to watch.
I just have a
Painful
question.
to watch.
Let me ask you guys this.
Both the
Max
times Minnesota beat them.
Max Brosmer just beat the Lions. If the Bears can't beat the Lions the next week, and Aiden Hutchinson ruins this
Sean,
game
outside. The Lions don't play well outside. They got to come play us outside. They didn't play outside against Minnesota. They got to come in our house and play outside.
No.
I'm telling you, I think the Bears are going to beat the shit out of them, guys.
Yeah,
we'll get.
I don't see any other result.
We'll get into our
I
prediction
texted you
show.
guys that in the middle of the Niners game. No, even I texted you that when the Lions were getting their ass kicked.
Yeah.
Like they're just
Well, I was.
and they
the
strayed
Bears-
so far away. Jameer Gibbs is used. David Montgomery's use went down to
He's stopping
15%
Gibbs on the
of the
Bears.
snaps. Dude, but why would the guy you hire to be your offensive coordinator? This is all I'll say about the Lions, and I've said this all offseason. Just be somebody who emulates what Ben Johnson did. You know, you go hire this fucking nobody who worked for a guy who called plays anyways, and the last time he ever did, he had the 27th ranked offense, and he went 3-13 as a play caller. Like this guy is not. They made a terrible hire, and they already. Dan Campbell took the play calling from him. It's exactly how I expected that story to go. I could not have painted that any more clear before.
I agree
that
with you, Phil.
happened.
I said that to my girlfriend during the Niners game. I'm like, Bears, can you just outside of the Browns, can you guys just beat the shit out of anybody, please, somebody, so I don't have to have a heart attack with 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter of every single game I watch? You guys, there's another thing that we're overlooking a little bit here. We've talked about the 4,000 yards, but do you know how bad Caleb Williams wants those 4,000 yards? Do you know how bad Caleb Williams wants to be the Bears' first 4,000 yard passer in his second season in the NFL? He's gonna do everything in his power to get 270 yards in that game. He's gonna do everything in his power to throw 270 yards.
For me,
100%.
it'll be interesting to see how the defense responds, because they blew the chance of the number 1 seed. You want this number 2 seed to stay at home as long as you possibly can. The Bears are only giving up 17.5 points at home on the season. It'll definitely be, it's going to be interesting, because I think this sets the table for what you do the following week in the first round of the playoffs. And the Chicago Bears need to be ready and pack their bags and be focused on getting that 2 seed and knocking the Packers out the following week, because, guys, I think it's Bears-Packers.
Wow, you guys, if the Bears lose and the Eagles win, the Eagles are your 2 seed. So the Bears need to win this game.
Yes.
Real quick, J2K, that makes a lot of sense, especially after what I just said. I don't know that Declan Doyle is any better hire, though, than John Morton was, because you're hiring a guy who doesn't call plays.
Maybe they'll hire Matt Nagy.
And John Morton did actually work on Ben Johnson's staff 3 years ago. He worked in Detroit. he left for Denver and he went
Yeah,
back.
but Brennan Declan
But
Doyle is by
you
all
can't.
accounts like the up
You
and
got to
coming.
hire a guy who's called plays. You've seen his play calling. You have film of it, and it emulates or is comparative to what Ben Johnson's. You have to run the same style of offense because your offense was flourishing. And they went and got a guy who wasn't even calling plays, man. It doesn't make sense. And this result, and I said it many times, should have been the only thing they expected from him, right? I mean, you checked all of the boxes of things you shouldn't do when replacing one of the most legendary coordinators of all time. Like, how could we make this any worse? Like, hire a guy who works for a guy who does all of the play calling.
I believe 100%, guys, that if he gets fired, Mike McDaniel in Miami will be the Lions offensive coordinator. I believe that with wholeheartedly. I just don't. I think he thinks.
You think so?
I
I
think
think
he
you go get a
thinks
guy who
Detroit.
loves
If he gets
running the
fired,
ball.
well, but Brendan, if you're Mike McDaniel and every team in the NFL is like, this guy was an offensive genius. Everywhere he was an offensive coordinator, their offense was amazing. What team do you think gives you the best chance to win a Super Bowl? It's the Detroit Lions. I mean, that's
but I don't
Jahmyr
think
Gibbs,
Mike
David
McDaniel,
Montgomery,
man,
Amon-Ra St.
passes.
Brown, Jamison Williams. They're going to draft a couple more guys in the offseason. Like whoever,
Well,
any
let's not make this a
good,
Lions
smart
podcast.
offensive mind wants to be on the line.
I would
That's what
rather
they want.
hire a Brian Dable if I was Dan Campbell. I'd rather have somebody like Mike McDaniel
Yeah, but
passes the ball like 56% of
he's
the time.
Brian Dable's a quarterback whisperer. They don't need a quarterback whisperer. Their quarterback knows how to play football. He's a seasoned vet. They need somebody who's a
He's
creative
also
play
a good
caller.
OC, though. He was a good OC.
What do you mean, Steve?
I think
Any
Dable
fears?
would be
Yeah, I
a good,
fear the
run a
Bears
good
can't get
offense
pressure on a
again.
quarterback.
No, I think he's waiting for us to say we're afraid to play the Packers in the first round of the playoffs. But I am not. I am not afraid to play anybody. I think if you ask the Bears collectively, the team would say, line them up. We don't care what order, we'll play them all. I think that's what they would say.
I like Packers.
The one team
Packers.
one team I don't want to play is the Rams, because if Juwan Jennings and Ricky Pearsall can run free, Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams will absolutely destroy the Bears. Destroy them. So I don't want to play the Rams.
I think whoever you play, I think I'm content with the wild card game as long as it's coming through Chicago. You can send me Green Bay. You can send me San Fran.
It's got to be Green Bay. It's going to be Green Bay.
It's going to be Green Bay.
Yeah, the Bears are going to keep.
I will tell you guys this.
Home. Guys, do you know the last time the Bears lost at home?
Yeah, week 2. Week 1. Week 1.
Week 1 was the last time Chicago Bears lost.
I will tell you
football
this,
game.
though. If the Brewers and Packers knock my 2 favorite teams out of the playoffs in the same year, and I'm conspicuous by my absence, you can find me hanging by a noose in my closet.
Jesus. Yeah, that would be hard. But I do think it's going to be the Packers, and I think it's going to be a good game, but I think the Bears are ultimately going to beat them. I think the Bears, just with the injuries, the Packers. So here's the thing, guys. The Bears could score on basically anybody. At this point, I believe the Bears could score on anybody. So the team that I want to play the most going into the playoffs would be the team with the weakest defense. Now, listen, I understand the Packers have a good defense, but the injuries are mounting. And that Rams pass rush, they don't have any injuries. They're all still there, and they're all still getting to the quarterback. That Seattle defense might be the best defense in the NFL. They're number 2 against the run. The team that I think the Bears could take advantage of with the injuries they've sustained, unfortunately, Steve, for you, is the Green Bay Packers. I think the Bears offense.
I honestly wish we could play Tampa Bay.
Well, yeah, I mean,
yeah, but they'd be the division.
Derrick Henry just ran for 4
division
touchdowns.
Winners don't play division winners.
Derrick Henry, the Packers were just on the receiving end of one of the most legendary games played by any individual player ever. It's never good to be the defense that was like, yeah, we played that when that guy got 4 touchdowns and almost 200 fucking rushing yards. Like, I think the Bears could definitely exploit this Packers defense the way they're. Listen, the Packers guys, I said this to you a couple weeks ago. It felt like they were imploding.
Yeah, but J2K, I think he's
it
bad.
felt like something bad was happening to the Packers. Steve, I'm sorry to say it. I still believe firmly that it is. I think the loss of Parsons and Wyatt combined after losing Kraft prior to that, these receivers are constantly in and out between Golden and Watson. You're right, Kyle. It's just, and then Love, it's a lot. And it feels like they're on a skid. It's not, the Packers season is not ending the way you want it to before you go play your first playoff game.
The worst thing
and
about
those teams don't often come out on the winning side of a playoff game.
The worst thing about that Packers Ravens game for Packers fans, and Steve, you correct me if you think I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure the Packers knew that they were going to just run the fucking ball. I'm pretty sure they were like, they're just going to run the ball because they have Tyler Huntley at quarterback. All they're going to do is run the ball, and they couldn't stop them. Like the Ravens were like, yeah, we're going to run the ball right here. Now stop us. And The Packers couldn't
Try.
stop them.
Have
I
fun.
texted you
Now
guys
listen, we
before
don't
that game.
have Derrick
I
Henry.
texted you
There's
guys.
no
I
Derrick
think
Henry
Henry's
in the
going to
Bears.
have
But the
a
Bears are
big
the
game.
third best rushing team in the NFL. They're the third best running team in the NFL. Number one is the Ravens. Who's number two, guys? The Bears are number three. Number one's the Ravens. Number two, I forget who. I think it's
For what?
running. Who's the second best running? Oh, the
Bears.
Bills. The
It's the
Bills.
Buffalo Bills. The
Yeah.
Bills are number. The
It
Bills
goes-
are number
Bills
one.
are first.
Okay, so it goes
Bears
Bills,
are
Ravens,
second.
Bears. But the Ravens and Bears have gone back and forth all season. The Bears dropped to third, then they went back up to second, then they dropped to third, then went back up to second. I think they might be back to second now, but it's those three teams. If the Packers can't stop the Ravens run game, which is very similar to the Bears run game, because they pound it up the middle, they know they don't try to be cute about it. They're going to pound the ball down your throat. How are they going to stop the Bears? I mean, I know this sounds crazy, but I think that game that the Packers played in Chicago after losing Micah Parsons, I think they were playing on a lot of energy, a lot of emotion, because they lost their best player and people were saying they were going to suck, and they played a damn good game. But that emotion and that energy and all that only lasts for so long before you start to feel the loss of those star players. That's what I think.
Well, and I also
Maybe
want
I'm
to say
wrong.
this, and
Maybe
I've
I'm
said
wrong.
this time and time again, Steve.
It's got to be a good game, Steve.
And Steve,
it's got to be a damn
I
good
think
game.
the Packers are a really good football team. I think they deserve to be in the playoffs. I do think Michael Parsons was kind of the X factor, and they did lose him. That matters more than any player on any football team this season. I truly believe that. And I think that's why they made the trade, which I thought was really good. But you also, I said this a couple weeks ago, what Bears team if the Packers are the draw, right? What Bears team will the Packers be playing week one of the playoffs? Because since I said that 3 weeks ago, this Bears team today is substantially better than the Bears team I was talking about 3 weeks ago. Kyle, you say yourself. I mean, like Caleb is, since the second half of the first Packers game, where he actually threw the pick to lose the game. I thought he played phenomenal in that. I thought he played phenomenal in that second half. And look at the way this dude's responded. He went and beat the shit out of Cleveland. He threw the game winner against the Packers in overtime. Then he goes and then he goes and gets in a gunfight with probably the most prolific offense in the NFL right now. I mean, did anybody think, like, there was definitely doubt in my head, especially the way that game started, our offense. I was like, man, this could be like 48-7.
Sean texted out, this is going to be a 50-50 game.
Yeah, and
by 50-50, he meant 50 points scored by both teams. Not like this is a game that's like,
and Caleb did, and you need a good quarterback to do that. And Caleb did it, and we did that with the playoff team. 2 playoff teams throwing punches, man. We lost in the end. You lick your wounds, you get back up. And I honestly, dude, I just, the way that this football team's played this year and the way that they're improving week by week and then getting a possible home field advantage in the playoffs, Steve, I think if I'm looking at that and I'm not a Bears fan or a Packers fan, and the Packers have played the way they have and they've had the injuries they've sustained, and the Bears are playing the football there, especially if they go out there and beat Detroit and they're at home, do you really, if you're a betting man, like, are you like, the Packers are going to go into Chicago and beat this team the way they've played?
Yeah, the Ravens
allowing
couldn't
41
beat anybody.
points to a backup
The
quarterback?
Ravens couldn't beat
But I
anybody.
guarantee you this: the Packers will be favorites in that game.
Oh, probably, yeah. But and it's not, you can talk about the woes because, like, the Packers suffered the Jordan Love injury, where, like, unfortunately against the Bears, and they lost that game. And then they lost the game they didn't have him. And I thought, guys, could a quarterback have played any better to replace a quarterback? Malik Willis was kind of on fire.
Malik Willis has looked great, dude,
and throwing like 14 yards per attempt, like, not like your dink and dunk. He was playing quality football. But I'll say this, man. The defense didn't lose Jordan Love. The Packers defense didn't lose fucking Jordan Love. They just got smoked.
You want to know what's funny about that,
to
Brandon?
a backup quarterback. And I know Derrick Henry did most of the work, but I mean, like, you just got ran off the field, man.
The funny thing is, and Steve probably
You're in your house. Sorry.
No, Steve probably knows this too, but the Packers were the 7th seed last year. They have the same amount of wins. They had a top 10 defense, top 5 defense, I think, last year, and they had no Micah Parsons. So even if you take Micah Parsons off of this defense, they should still be relatively similar to what they were last year.
Should be sound.
A top echelon defense in this league. And guess what? It didn't work out for them. And I hate to say it, but I think the Cowboys had 7 wins last year too. I think that's what they have this year. And I understand that Micah Parsons is a needle mover, but when you compare records and compare everything that's going on, is he? They still lost to some really bad teams. So,
Oh, Sean, if you know what's funny is if you look around the league, right? You look around the league, and people are always like, "Oh man, if you just get that one pass rusher, that one great pass rusher, you're a Super Bowl contender." Well, let's see. Micah Parsons was on the Packers. Max Crosby's on the Las Vegas Raiders. Myles Garrett's on the Cleveland Browns. Last year, Trey Hendrickson's on the Cincinnati Bengals. Last year, Micah Parsons was on the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, but
like,
that
guys,
piece
you need a lot. You need a lot.
Change.
You need to be like ready to win now when you add that.
Because look
end.
at Nick
you
Bosa.
can't just put a defensive end on a shitty team and be like, oh, now we're winning the Super Bowl. It's not. They're not a quarterback.
Let me ask
you. Von Miller and Nick Bosa got their teams to Super Bowls, though. They made major impacts on.
Do you think?
Steve, I hope you're being honest when you say that. I hope it's not facetious. We love having you on the show, man. I love talking about Packers.
Let me ask you
would you
guys be taking the Packers in the NFC, at least to the NFC Championship game, if Micah Parsons is on the field for the rest of the season?
I certainly don't want to play them in the first round. I can tell you that.
Sean, I think they would have probably. I don't know about the Ravens game because the Derrick Henry was just too much, and I don't think Micah Parsons was going to do much about that. I'm going to be honest, but I think they could have beaten Denver if they had some pass rush. I mean, Bo Nix did torch them, but he had some time to throw the football. So yeah, I think their season was altered by the loss already of Micah Parsons. They didn't have much of a pass rush going against Caleb. They didn't have much of a pass rush going against Bo Nix.
You could see
their pass rush is substantially affected by this, obviously.
In that Broncos game, you could almost physically see
saw the change.
The wind leave their sail. Like you saw it. Like they became I think they're trying to play this game against one of the best teams in the NFL. And in the back of their heads, they're like, is Micah done? Is he done? Like, did he just tear his ACL? Like that's huge. That's probably all they could think about because they know that alters their chances of winning a Super Bowl by bounds. Like
right, and their Super Bowl odds improved the day they made the trade. They became the favorites in the NFC North. They became favorite to win the NFC North, and they moved to like third, I think, to win the Super Bowl. Or was it first?
I think
they got up there.
They were first. I think they were overall first odds to win the Super Bowl.
But maybe the Eagles.
You do have to wonder,
Eagles and Packers. That was it.
If they were, let's say, sixth favored or seventh favored before the Micah Parsons edition, now that he's gone, is that the way you view the Packers again? Are they now like, they were a top 3 team for me in regards to chances to win the Super Bowl, but now I put them in the top 10.
Brennan, Romy's asking us to rank the teams in the NFC playoffs that we would like to play in order from the team we'd like to play the most to the team we'd like to play the least. So I'll start. Whoever wins the Panthers and Bucks. That's the first team I would want to play. That is the team I'd like to play. Obviously, that's not going to happen because it'd be division winners, so you're not going to play them. But that's if you talk about the teams, just all the teams that are in the playoffs. Whoever wins that division, the NFC South, that's who I would play first. That's who I would choose first. The Bucks or Panthers.
Playoff sub under the belt.
I think
I'd probably say the Eagles next.
I'm probably with you, Kyle, on that one.
The Eagles, really? Over Seattle?
Yeah,
I would want to play Seattle and Chicago.
I just don't like Sam Darnold, man. I don't like him. I don't know what. Maybe he'll if he keeps winning.
You don't love Jalen Hurts.
I like their offense. Well, I like the team, the whole team, the roster construction more than I like the Seattle Seahawks. I think it's Jackson Smith-Njigba and Sam Darnold, and if you could shut down Jackson Smith-Njigba, the Seahawks are in big trouble.
Dude, Charbonnet has been on fire.
Yeah, but I mean, what Charbonnet's stats?
Yeah,
he's 700 yards.
Dude is a baller, man. There's no way they can keep both those guys, man.
Yeah, that's a good point. Charbonnet.
Yeah, but you guys, Charbonnet doesn't scare me enough to be like, I don't want to play.
If he's a full-time starter on a football team, he's a 1,500-yard guy.
He's a good player. He's a damn good player.
All-purpose yards, Sean? 1,500, do you think, if he started a full season?
I'd say 12 to 15. He'd be in.
Yeah, but that's pretty standard in the NFL.
He can catch the ball well.
All starting running backs get about 1,500 yards all purpose.
All right, I'll tell you this, guys.
Fine.
I'll tell you
this. We'll go Eagles. Sean, we'll go
Kenneth
Eagles.
Walker's a free agent.
Who are you going to say?
We'll go Eagles. We'll go Eagles. Fine. So you got first the team we'd like to play the most.
I would go Packers over the Eagles. I would go Packers over the Eagles.
So you'd rather play the Packers than the Eagles?
Yes. I don't want to play the Eagles again.
Vernon, are you okay with that?
I can concede that, although we've beaten both teams. So
we'll say the Panthers. We'll say the Panthers because I think the Panthers win that division. So we'll go Panthers, and then we'll go Packers. Then we'll go Eagles. Then I'm saying Seahawks, bro.
Oh,
Over the Niners, Rams.
The way the Niners are playing, yes, but over the course of the season, the Seahawks looked like a much better football team.
I would go Niners because I just saw my team put up over 400 yards, and I know I can.
Yeah, I'm with Sean. I'm going Niners. They're a wild card team.
I don't know if you can do that to Seattle.
Sean, the Niners are the hottest. They're the hot. The Niners are the hottest team in the NFL, man. The Niners are the hottest team in the NFL, man.
Who?
The Niners. They've punted 3 times in the span of a month, bro.
Here,
what if they lose next week, Kyle?
What I just watched last night tells me, give me another crack at that team. Let me get the ball last and watch me beat them. That's just
that's Caleb's mentality for sure.
Yeah, that's he did it with the Packers. Man,
he was pissed, guys, when they picked him up off the ground on that final play.
Well, James,
he went to shake. Did you see the video?
You guys ever seen this name before?
James
on Riley?
No.
James on Riley, I think it's.
I mean, clearly not.
James, thanks for joining the show.
Outscored them. We almost outscored them last night. It came down to the last play of the game. I mean,
let's give him an applause.
Yeah, James, thanks for joining the show, man.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Here you go, James. This is for you, even though I disagree.
Sean.
Thanks, James. We did score a touchdown on defense.
Wait. Before you disagree, why don't you read the next comment? That left tackle's name is Trent Williams, by the way, Roman.
Yeah, but they didn't skip a beat.
Sean,
that has nothing to do with
Austin Booker had like 9 pressures, bro.
So then you move them around.
It's not doing that to Trent Williams, man.
It doesn't. Did those pressures affect Brock?
Really.
Sean, one of the punt was when he hit Brock Purdy's arm when he was throwing, and it fell short, and that was the punt. That was their punt. Austin Booker hitting Brock Purdy while he was throwing the ball.
Williams can't give up pressures, bro. I would here. You don't. Are you telling? Hold on. Time out. Are you telling me right now you don't think the Bears can run it back with the Niners and put up 40 points on them again?
I don't want to play the Niners in San Fran. I put them. The only team.
That defense sucks, bro.
The only team that might be.
It's not a good team.
Sean, the Rams' defensive secondary could be had too. The Rams secondary is not great.
That front seven on
it's
the Rams.
Scary. Yeah, sure.
With Young and what's that other kid? They got Fisk and they got Verse and who's the other D tackle they drafted out of Wake Forest?
I know they're good,
dude. I don't want that. I'd rather have the Niners pressure who don't sack the quarterback, and I know my offense can function that way.
So you think the Rams are the best team in the NFC?
Yes, I do.
And then you think behind them is.
Oh, that's tough, man.
I'm going you guys. I think there's a chance the Niners win the Super Bowl. I do.
There's a chance that they get there and lose because they're pretty good at that.
Their defense.
Oh yeah, and who in the AFC is scaring you? Who in the AFC is scary?
No one scares me.
Nobody.
I think the Super Bowl winner. If
Denver
Denver comes out and their defense is top
Romy,
notch, I think they can give
Stanford
a lot of problems.
Green Bay, Seattle. I put Seattle before Philly. I think Philly's defense is scary as shit.
I think there's a bunch of teams, man. The Jaguars, the Broncos, I think the Patriots. There's some AFC teams that are looking pretty fucking powerful. And
but
I think it's worth saying. I said this on a show on Thursday night.
The Texans?
You guys weren't there.
The Texans scare the shit out of me. It wouldn't surprise me right now if the Super Bowl ends up being Texans Niners. That wouldn't surprise me. They're both playing very well.
3 of the league's best records. Not the 3 best, but 3 of the league's best records are all head coaches with new organizations. 2 of them rookies. I mean that is remarkable.
That should worry you in the playoffs.
That is remarkable.
The problem I have with the Patriots, and I know this is an excuse and it's a cop-out, but I just haven't seen the Patriots play anybody. That's the problem I have with the Patriots. I haven't seen them play anybody. The only team, and then they lost to the Bills when they had a 21-0 lead in the second half.
That too.
The Patriots don't scare me until I think the Patriots year is next year. I think next year is when the Patriots really take. That Houston defense, Phil, is absolutely on fire. I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened to them against.
They're my fantasy defense. They get double digits every week.
They had a bad game against Ashton Genty, but outside of that, for the last 7-8 weeks, that Houston defense has been. It's almost impossible to move the ball up and down the field against them. They've been amazing.
I mean, I will say this. The Panthers. I'm looking at their schedule.
Suck.
Or not the Patriots. Excuse me, the Patriots. They played 3 playoff teams and they're 1-2. They lost 21-14 to the Steelers. They beat the Bills. Remains to be seen if the Bucks make the playoffs or not, but then they lost to the Bills. Outside of that, nobody else on their schedule is going to be in the playoffs. I mean, I guess the Ravens could be in the playoffs. The Ravens could still, or they could still be out.
Here's a
Well,
question.
yeah, but either way, Sean,
Steve,
that would replace one of the because
Steve.
the
Steelers,
yeah.
Steve, the answer to your question is hell no. Whoever wins the NFC South is the weakest team in the playoffs in general, not NFC. Whoever wins the NFC South is the weakest team walking into the playoffs. The Buccaneers or Panthers are not winning a playoff game. They're not winning a playoff game. And I know people are going to say, Kyle, the Panthers beat the Packers. They beat a bunch of good teams. They did. The wins on their schedule
is really good.
Yeah, the wins on their schedule are impressive. The Panthers have beaten good teams. They have. But I just don't believe in Bryce Young. If you could sit here and convince, I don't care what you say about Bryce Young. I think the guy sucks. He's not going to win a Super Bowl in the NFL. He's not the long-term plan for the Panthers at quarterback. They don't think they're going to Super Bowl with him. I guarantee you the Canales is trying to find a way to upgrade that position at some point in the near future. He has times where he looks good, and he has times when he's bad. He is the worst quarterback in the NFL. That's not even a question. He's the worst quarterback in the NFL. When he's bad, he is absolutely atrocious. So are the Packers worse than those two teams? No, absolutely not. No, God, no. The Packers would destroy the Panthers if they play him again. I know they lost to him already once. If they play him again, they'll destroy him. And if they played the
I'm with Sean though. I don't know if I ever clarified that. I'm Rams last. I'm not. You're going to Seattle.
I'm okay with that. I'm okay with you saying the Rams are the best team in the NFC. I think the Rams have been the team in the NFC this year who have looked the most consistent.
Well, and San Fran will. I personally believe San Fran will likely be coming to Chicago. I think you're going to be going to Seattle. Seattle is one of the worst places to play in. I think the Niners are above Seattle to me too. I think it's Rams, Seattle, Niners.
I think you guys are giving way too much credit to Sam Darnold and that Seattle team. I just don't like that team. I don't think they're as good as people think they are. I think Seattle's going to be.
It's a tough.
I think they're going to lose their first. I think they're going to lose their first playoff game. If the Niners knock them out of first, they're going to lose their first playoff.
I didn't say. I said last week I would want to play Sam Darnold in the playoffs. I would love to play Sam Darnold.
No, but you just said that you had the Seattle number 2, right?
No.
Well, you just said you would love to play San Fran because you just proved we could score.
I'd rather play San Francisco than Seattle. I don't trust.
So then, who else is there, bro?
Seattle's defense.
Seattle's defense.
So you got Rams.
You keep saying Sam Darnold, but like
you got Rams.
There's a whole other side of the ball.
There. We already put the Eagles.
Seattle
is
just
third.
dominating.
You got Rams, Seattle.
I mean, if it came down to Rams, Seattle, I'd play Seattle over the Rams. If it came down to Seattle and Philly, I'd rather play Seattle.
If it came down to Seattle and San Fran, you'd rather play.
I'd rather play San Francisco. So I just saw what our offense can do. That defense doesn't scare me, guys. Here, I can tell you this.
Because they lost Joseph for the year.
I can tell you this, Kyle. You go back to the annals of football history, and you find me a Super Bowl champion or an NFC champion that's last in pressure, last in sacks, and lowest in blitz percentage that's been A, an NFC champion, or B, a Super Bowl champion. I guarantee you're not going to find it.
Sure,
it's against the 49ers to make it that far.
But Sean, we've seen teams win with pure offense. How about that? How about the Eagles Patriots Super Bowl when Nick Foles scored 50? Listen, it happened. Christian McCaffrey's not stoppable. He's proven that this year. There's not a single team in the NFL that could stop Christian McCaffrey this year. Not one. Not one. He's not stoppable. You cannot stop him. You could try to slow him down. You can try to limit him a little bit, but Christian McCaffrey's going to get his no matter what. Doesn't matter who he's playing. It doesn't matter. He's getting his.
I don't disagree with that.
George Kittle, the Bears are terrible against tight ends. Jake Tungus just beat the shit out of them. George Kittle would destroy them. And on top of that, the Bears can't stop quarterbacks from running. And even though Brock Purdy doesn't run often, when they do design the occasional run for him, he does a really good job at masking it. The Bears bit on every single RPO and every single design quarterback run and play action handoff that the Niners did last night.
Kyle,
they bit on every single one of them.
I'll tell you this: you get a good defensive performance like Houston had against San Francisco when they held Christian McCaffrey this year to 25 rushing yards and 40 receiving.
Yeah, that's the best defense in the NFL.
Toast.
They're not. The Bears aren't doing that to Christian McCaffrey.
Say this:
the Bears are not doing that to Christian McCaffrey.
Don't put it past the Rams, dude.
I don't think
the 49ers have the defensive makeup.
What did they do against the Rams this year?
They lost. The Niners lost the first game.
I know, but what did Christian McCaffrey do?
I don't know if you want to know that.
because they were probably using Mac Jones, right? I'm assuming.
Christian McCaffrey against them had 66 receiving yards and 30 rushing yards. He averaged 2.5 yards per carry. He was under average in both, not to mention the fact that the Rams beat the shit out of them.
But that right there, that proves my point. Like you're like, he had a terrible game. He had 96 all-purpose yards. Like, God, I wish DeAndre Swift had 96 all-purpose yards every game. I wish he did.
96 all-purpose yards. They lost by 3 touchdowns. So if the Rams go into this game,
was that Mac Jones?
Stop.
Was that Mac Jones?
It was Mac Jones.
Mac
Jones was 33 for 39 for 319 yards.
Yeah, Sean, on passes,
you can't put it on Mac Jones.
Sean, on passes underneath inside 5 yards.
He averaged 8.2 yards per pass.
Mac Jones sucks, Sean.
He was 33 for 39.
Are you saying Mac Jones is as good as Brock Purdy? His guy has 13 touchdowns in 3 weeks, bro.
Kyle, all I can say is against
we're really
the
arguing
Rams,
about who would
33
win
for 39, 319 yards, and 3 passing touchdowns.
That them not having Brock Purdy didn't affect that game in any way, shape, or form, which I think is ridiculous. Brock Purdy's way better than Mac Jones, bro.
33 for 39, 319 yards, and 3 passing touchdowns. That's as good as Brock Purdy.
But with Brock Purdy's in there, maybe you could do different things, bro. Sean? You know how many quarterbacks I could find? Terrible quarterbacks who've had good games in the NFL. Sean, you know Mike White is? Do you know Mike White is? Mike White had a game where he had like 500 passing yards. That doesn't mean he's better than good quarterbacks in the NFL. It's just a good day.
I'm going to say Mac Jones. I don't think Mac Jones was that big of a problem.
I thought he played admirably.
He's a good backup. You know why he's a backup?
Well, he was in. Well, he was in this year. He threw for 2,151 yards, 279, 284, 342, 347, 193, 319. 13 touchdowns. He had 100 quarterback rating. He was not the problem.
How many games did he have 13 touchdowns?
Where was that? Mac Jones played 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 games.
He had 13 touchdowns? Yeah, Brock Purdy has 13 in the last 3, bro.
Yeah.
Don't you think though, Kyle? Don't you think though, like when the Seahawks were? So you're comparing these teams, and it's like you're talking about like, oh well. You know, I'll take Sam Darnold, but like,
well, you guys are about to find out because Seattle's going to play San Fran.
Sam Darnold's offense is pretty. Like, the Seahawks offense is fairly efficient, and their defense is outrageous. And you have the Niners, who offense right now is better. Hold on, their offense is better than Seattle's. The Niners right now it is, but their defense looks like one of the worst in the NFL to me.
Brandon,
I mean. I think their secondary is egregiously bad. And they don't have Nick Bosa. They don't have Fred Warner. They're cooked.
Give me a second, bro. You said something. Give me a chance to respond. Since teams have started slowing down Jackson Smith and Jigba, since they have, the Seahawks have not been nearly as good of an offense.
What about the Rams?
And people
could say,
oh, well, they just beat the shit out of the Panthers. Yeah, I don't care.
What about the Rams offense though? The Rams play the Niners and the Rams offense will murder that defense.
I agreed
like
with you
Sean
guys.
just said.
You guys, when you guys said the Rams are number 1, I said I'm fine with that. They're the most consistent team in the NFL. Did I not say that? I said that. I think San Fran's number 2.
Oh,
I think San Fran's number 2. I think how quickly the 49ers score, how powerful that offense is without George Kittle. Without George Kittle, they scored almost 50 points.
How did Darnold play against
and then you put
San
the best
Fran?
top 3 tight end in the NFL back on the field. I just think that the Niners are damn good offense, and they're almost impossible to stop because Kyle Shanahan right now is just firing on all cylinders. He's just on fire, dude. He's on fire.
I will say this. Mac Jones did play both games versus the Rams. He threw for 319, 342, 6 touchdowns, and 1 interception.
Yeah, but is that
behind? When Brock Purdy gets in there, that could be a formula.
500. Yeah, could be 500 yards.
That could be a formula for that. I could see that. They are 1-1, and the Niners had to go to overtime to get their victory.
I want to say this though. I do want to clarify.
The Bears are overtime to get their victory against the Packers. I'm still thinking the Bears to win.
Any of these teams are teams that the Bears cannot beat.
I agree. I think the Rams are a team that
can.
Like the Eagles.
I also think all 3 of them could beat the Bears.
If the Eagles from a year ago were the Eagles this season, I would think to myself, the Bears can't beat this team. That team that was running for 7 fucking touchdowns a game. Like I would think to myself, like this team is going to dominate the NFC playoffs. They're going to go to the Super Bowl and win a championship, just the way I thought about them last year. There's no team to me this year in the NFC where like they can't all get got because they can. And Caleb will, and he's looking better week by
Hey
week.
guys,
It's
Mikey's
time to
with you
start
guys.
worrying about how
Seattle's
good
gonna
Caleb
destroy
Williams
San
might
Fran on
become
Saturday.
this season, dude. If you're a defense, that is, I'd be terrified of Caleb Williams.
I don't know, Mikey. I don't think that game is Saturday night. Seattle Niners. I don't think anybody's destroying anybody, man. Me personally. Maybe I'm wrong, and you're right. And Seattle win 41-0. I don't know, but I
Here,
think it's
I'll
gonna
say
be a
this,
damn
Kyle.
good
When
football
it
game,
comes to big games, I don't trust Sam Darnold whatsoever. I don't. I just don't.
I don't. Outside of Jackson Smith and Jigma,
He's
and, I
only
mean,
ever played
you
in
guys
one,
talk a lot
Sean.
about. You guys talk about Zach Charbonnet. If Zach Charbonnet's so good, how come he hasn't supplanted Kenneth Walker as the number one running back in Seattle? Like if they thought, we have fucking Derrick Henry in the backfield here, then how come it's taken him 2 years, 2.5 years to supplant Kenneth Walker?
Going to. Kenneth Walker's
going to, dude. We're on year 3, bro.
He's a free agent. I don't think he's re-signing. I think Zach Charbonnet is the new number one in Seattle.
I know, but what I'm saying is it took Kenneth Walker leaving for them to be like, all right, now Zach's good enough to start.
No, I think that Zach Charbonnet has been groomed to be the new number one in the
trade
system.
Walker.
That's what I think.
They
probably should have.
Just letting Walker. I said, Sean, do you remember that conversation we had months ago where I said Seattle should be offering up one of these running backs? And I was really pushing for it because I have Charbonnet in fantasy and I want him to be a starter. So that's why it was really important to me.
You're talking about a team like the Chicago Bears who have obviously a porous defense right now. Whether they're banged up, whatever it is, they're not a very good defense. I'm not afraid of Jackson Smith-Njigba, Sam Darnold, and Zach Charbonnet. Not nearly as much as Kyron Williams, Puka Nacua, and Devontae Adams. Not nearly as much as Christian McCaffrey, George Kittle, Juwan Jennings. They're the offense that scares me the least of anybody in the playoffs. I'd rather play Zach Charbonnet than Josh Jacobs. I'd rather there's just, to me personally, I think Seattle's offense is not complete. I think they know there's some holes there still, and in the playoffs you're going to see it exposed. That's just me personally. Maybe I'm
their
wrong.
Offensive line is really good.
Maybe Seattle goes in and beats the shit everybody, wins the Super Bowl. I don't think Sam Darnold's winning his way to a Super Bowl this year. That's just me personally. Like I said, I could be way off.
I'm going to say this
and Mikey, Paul, that's Jordan Love.
And you guys can.
I agree with you, man. Seattle's defense is phenomenal, but the league is a quarterback-driven league now. That's what it is.
Well, I'm going to say this right.
Has to play at least above
Sam Darnold is going to torch that 49ers defense next week. That's going to happen.
I don't think so.
It's 100% going to happen. He is going to carve that team up, dude.
I don't think so.
That defense is bad, man. It's really bad. It's really bad. It's Bengals.
You guys, we'll follow you guys. Steve asked the question here. Obviously, let's eliminate the Rams for a second because we all think the Rams are a damn good team, right? On both sides of the ball. What offense is scary in the playoffs? What offense scares you outside of the Rams?
All of them. The Packers' offense is scary.
All right, who's the one that scares you the most outside of the Rams? It's got to be the Niners, guys.
If you're talking about the way they're playing, I would say the Niners. But the way the team played all year, Seattle was better. If you ask me.
But you're telling no offense that doesn't scare me because the Bears can't get pressure up the middle.
Brennan just said that. But my question is, which one scares you the most? Like if you're like, this is the offense I do not want to play in the playoffs. Outside of the Rams, who is the next team where you're like, I do not want to see that offense to play?
I don't want to play a good offense that's got a good defense behind.
Yeah, the one that just scored 50 points on us. That's the one I don't want to see in the playoffs.
I don't want to.
I would play them again because the Bears did something the team hasn't done. They got them off the field. And the Bears have to correct their mistakes. Our own coach,
I don't know if they're
admitted, listen, our own coach admitted he made some bad decisions in play calling on the field goal and at the end of the game. It was his own admittance. Go listen to his damn press conference. He said it himself when he was asked the questions. I think he can correct those things. I think the Bears can stop the Niners at some point, like they did in this game last week, and take advantage and be able to beat the Niners. And yes, instead of saying, like I said this week, it would be a race to 30, I would then again say it'd be a race to 40. When you don't get pressure, you don't blitz, and you can't stop a quarterback, you can't get him to the ground, you're going to have problems. We've been living this nightmare all year. The 49ers are going to live this nightmare in the playoffs. You got to get home in the playoffs. You got to get to the quarterback. You have to.
I'll tell you this, man.
That's why Darnold's going to torch him, Sean.
The Bears scored 30, whatever.
He's been torching teams all year.
Points. But I'll tell you this, Sean. Their pass rush looked better than the Bears.
I was very disappointed in the Chicago
They
Bears.
have 18 sacks this season.
I'm talking about in that specific game.
No,
the
I was very
Niners were in
disappointed.
Caleb's face a lot more
When
than
they
the Bears
lost
were in
Very
Bosa,
disappointed.
when they lost Bosa, man, they lost too much.
Yeah, that was
And
huge.
Fred
And Fred
Warner.
Warner and Fred Warner.
Fred
Two of
Warner,
best
by the
players in
way,
football.
Yeah, that defense,
for
they
the
had
game
good
last
players,
night-
man, but they lost them.
Yeah,
And
Mikey,
they're
I
not
think
good.
the Rams, we already all three agreed that the Rams are the team.
Yeah,
I think the Rams are the most complete team in football. That's what I think. And maybe I'm wrong, but I think the Rams right now
Well, and they probably
are
have
the most complete team in football.
and they probably have. I think he's about to start. We can start this. I think Sean McVay could be called the best coach in the NFL soon here in the near future. I mean, everybody's going to say Andy Reid or whatever it is, but like
Well,
Sean
Romy,
McVay,
Devontae Adams isn't playing, so remember that's huge, man. Devontae Adams is a damn good player, guys. He was leading the league in touchdowns, was he not?
Who the Rams play this weekend?
They're playing right now. They're getting their
Oh.
asses kicked. The Rams are getting their asses kicked by it's 14-0 Falcons.
Oof.
Right
who's
now.
got touchdowns? If you say Bijan on both, I'm punching.
Bijan
Sean.
One of
does
them,
have a
one of them
touchdown.
was a pick six, I believe.
Bijan has a receiving touchdown.
That doesn't help me at
Okay.
all.
He has 9 rushes for 30 yards. He has 2 catches for 13 yards and a receiving touchdown.
The leading receiver for Bills.
What?
The leading receiver for the Falcons is a white guy named Sills. Drake London has 1 catch for 4 yards. Kyle Pitts has 1 for 5. Mooney has 1 for 13. Puka Nacua's got 1 for 10. So
Yeesh.
none of the studs in this game have. I mean, it's very early in the game, but none of the studs look like studs just yet.
Yeah, and maybe we're looking at some Rams regression here. They played at such a high level. Maybe they peaked in the middle of the season a little bit too early.
But you heard what I just said, right? I mean, guys, you cannot overlook the loss of Devontae Adams. This isn't like losing Zacchaeus. This is you're talking about a guy who was leading the league in touchdown catches, touchdown receptions. Sean, what did he have? Like 12, 11? I mean, Devontae Adams, he was unstoppable this year, and now he's out. If the Rams are smart, they're going to let him sit out to the playoffs, and they're going to get him back for the playoffs. And if that offense has all the pieces, and they're all healthy, and they're all clicking on also, the Rams are a damn good offense, man. If you're talking about throwing to Devontae Adams and Puka Nacua, and you got Kyron Williams and Blake Corum in the backfield, and you can pick any of the 19 tight ends that they use on any given game that all look exactly the same to me. But when that offense is clicking, they're tough to stop, man. That's a damn good team. And they're a damn good coach team. Watch, you guys, they're down 14-0 against the Falcons. Wouldn't surprise me at all if the Rams come back and win this game.
The Rams probably will. Although I'm not playing Puka Nacua this week, so he doesn't have to score 50 points.
Falcons defense is
Yeah, of course, now he's going to score 4.
Falcons defense is also not anywhere near the bottom of the league.
Yeah,
The Falcons defense is actually pretty decent.
Those two
Very
kids
up and
they
down.
drafted, man, are coming on.
Yeah,
Actually,
they had a good draft.
honestly,
really good.
I think they hit on both Pierce and Walker. They're 2 edges that they
Yeah, I
drafted.
think they're both going to be really good players.
Yeah.
Jed says
And
main thing that
Watts is
scares me
a
with
stud.
the Rams is playoff Stafford as a different beast. Yeah, it's because he's a seasoned vet and he knows he can't make mistakes in the playoffs. That's why Stafford is a different guy in the play. He knows that turning the ball over in the playoffs is not
And
like the
Sean
regular season.
McVay
It's a
generally
game of
draws
inches.
up a pretty flawless game plan for Matt Stafford. So that
Well,
doesn't
and
hurt.
if you guys think Sean McVay can't exploit the Bears' weaknesses on defense, I mean, he might be the best offensive play caller in the NFL. I mean,
I'm going to stick to what I said last week, guys. And I mean it. I think the Bears can pick up a win in the playoffs. That's where I'm canceling the season. To me, we have 11 wins. We've won the North. It's already successful. I have a shit-eating grin on my face until next year. Hopefully the Bears can build on this and repeat. The offseason is going to be just as fun as watching these last 4 months of football to see how this team improves. I couldn't be more happy as a Bears fan because, honestly, I thought after the last couple of years of fuckface Eberflus that this thing was so far upside down and so far backwards. They brought in competent coaches. They killed this draft from everything that we've seen so far. Hopefully they can kill this.
Rebuilt the offensive line.
Yep, make some gosh darn great acquisitions here in the offseason.
Caleb made
defensive
huge
line.
strides. I think this team can win a Super Bowl, guys.
Not this year. I don't think
do.
they can this year.
I'm so bought into it, Sean. I am.
I think they can. I don't think they will.
Yeah, of course. Any team can.
Like,
Any team can.
I am. I'm like, I go to sleep at night and I good, better, best.
Brandon,
Never let it rest.
Brandon, you're going to hate this when I say this, but in order for the Bears to win the Super Bowl this year, they're going to need a lot of luck. I'm sorry. They're going to need a lot of luck.
They're gonna need a lot of things, but I think they're gonna need a
Well,
lot
you
of
know,
magic.
Romy,
They're
any
gonna need a
given
lot of
Sunday, any
magic
given
out of
Monday.
Caleb Williams. But I believe these things can. I don't know, man.
The Bears were getting their asses kicked by the Giants.
Ben Johnson believes this team can win a Super Bowl. So the
Here, I'll
players
say
believe it.
this. It's changed for people who don't want to say that it's changed. It's changed for me to Caleb Williams may be a reason we won't win a Super Bowl, to he's the main reason we will, but we got to fix the things around him. And I know there's still some people, I read it every day, that think this guy's still a bum and he's not going to – I read it today.
Well,
he's
most
never
people
going
are
to sign a
stupid.
second
Stop
contract
reading
with
their
the
stuff.
Bears.
Caleb?
Stop reading those
But,
people's things.
Yeah. I'm fully bought in. And here, you guys know, I
Those
wasn't
people
sold
will
on
never
Caleb when he
change
came
their
into the
mind.
league.
Ever.
I was not sold on this dude,
Yeah,
man.
and by the way, this is the third time we've seen Rich Eisen's name in the chat. Listen, this is no disrespect, Mikey, but
I don't think you ever.
Rich Eisen's opinion changes like a fart in the wind, dude. This guy every day, one day he's like, I think Shadir Sanders is better than Caleb, and then 2 weeks later he's like, I think the Bears will win the Super
I
Bowl.
like Rich Eisen.
Yeah, but
Sean,
he's it's a hot take. He's a shock jock, bro. He's a shock.
Sean, I thought
you
you liked Caleb in the draft, just not as much, right?
You
said you weren't sold on him. I thought you liked him. Just didn't like him as much as Daniels.
Correct. I wasn't sure that he was going to translate. I was worried about the diva stuff. I was worried about how he was going to handle himself. And every box that I wanted him to check, he's checked so far. He's become a great team leader. He's great in the community. I mean, him and PCA were out after we beat the Packers, handing out food for the homeless. By the way, the Bears are undefeated when PCA is on the sideline, so hopefully he keeps showing up to Soldier Field. But nonetheless, he's starting to check every box, and now his performance on the field is starting to check every box. I just wanted to take my time with it and not be jumping in.
Oh, plus Sean, you like Drake May a lot, and he looks just.
I love Drake May. I thought Drake May was the best quarterback in this class. Caleb and him are going to be neck and neck for a while, and I do believe we'll see a rematch.
Drake May's a badass. They're both really. I think they're going to be in a Super Bowl at some point. I think it's going to be Bears Patriots again.
Bears Patriots.
He's like the consummate professional. Like he's Drake May is like that. He's like Tom Brady, man. He's just he looks so comfortable in the pocket, even when he speaks, man. I mean, the guy looks like he smoked a joint before he started playing a football game. But Caleb can do things that Drake May guys will just never be able to do.
You want to know the thing? You want to know the thing?
Maybe vice versa.
That is important to understand. When you're a GM who's drafting a guy,
and vice versa.
There's things this guy can do that guy will never be able to.
But let me talk for a second. It could be the vice versa as well. Like, do you think Caleb will ever have the completion percentage? Like, he'll ever be that accurate? I don't know. Maybe not. Drake Mason, one of the most accurate quarterbacks in the
You don't think Caleb in 5 years could improve those things all to the better?
And we don't know Drake May's peak either. We don't know what he could start doing. He's a good runner. He's a good runner of the ball.
Caleb could potentially have a 69-70% completion percentage, man. There are things that Drake May physically cannot and will never be able to do.
He can do things that Caleb can't. Maybe he's better.
Physically?
I said mentally. Maybe he's better at recognizing defense, changing the play.
When you're drafting a guy, man, you're not thinking about that. You're drafting a guy. You're thinking about
another new guy. We got Dirty Dog in the house.
What's up, Dirty Dog?
What's up, Dirty Dog?
Yeah, I love the Bears chef hat, man. It's a badass hat, Dirty Dog.
Yeah, and I'll say this, man. I think they're both really good. When Drake May was coming in, I know not everyone was enamored with him. I said, man, I feel like this guy's going to be his baby Josh Allen. I think he's going to be the next Josh Allen. I think he's going to be a better passer than Josh Allen ever was.
As good a runner.
Maybe not as good as runner, but he definitely can use his wheels. And Drake May just dropped some fucking dimes, dude. I mean,
yeah, but Josh Allen, dude, just like
dude.
Didn't Josh Allen just broke some record for rushing quarterback rushing yards?
Oh yeah,
it was a pretty substantial record. I forget what it was, but I read it and was like, Jesus Christ! Like I didn't know he ran like that. But like
that's like the first 6 years of his career, he has like the most rushing touchdowns. I think.
Yeah,
in NFL history, and
for a quarterback.
I just don't. May's never going to run like that, but I do agree with you, Sean. I think May could potentially be a better pocket passer.
Guys, let's let these guys get out of here, man, and go watch the rest of this game because We're coming up
Yeah.
on 2.5 hours here.
Well, Kyle, is it true you have to work this Wednesday?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know that we're going to have another Wednesday show because we have plans as well. We have dinner plans at 6 o'clock. So unless, Kyle, you'd like to do an afternoon show before we both head out for the evening on this holiday, we will be back the following week.
We could do that.
We can do a quick Wednesday show.
We'll just break down this Lions game. I mean, honestly, guys, it's not going to be a lot for me. I think the Bears are going to kill them. So we'll get into it on Wednesday, but I think the Bears are going to kill them, man. Hey, man, thanks a lot, Dirty Dog. We appreciate you.
Oh, yeah, man.
Thank you so much, man.
Hey, Dirty Dog, just so you know,
Dirty
we're
Dog.
usually here every Monday. We're here every Wednesday. We're here late night Thursday. And then on Sunday game day, 10 a.m., we do a preview, get together, chop it up a little bit before.
Basically, any game day, we do a preview.
Yeah, and
Whether
if
it be
the Bears
Friday
play
or
on a
Saturday.
Saturday for the playoffs, we'll be doing a 10 a.m. Saturday show ahead of the playoff game. So whenever the Bears play, we're on at 10 a.m. that day ahead of time. So unless it's a Thursday night, then we won't be.
Yeah, thank you so much, Dirty Dog. Thanks for joining the show, man. Thanks for the like and subscribe. We appreciate it, brother. Everybody else in the chat today, great job, guys, man. As always, you guys keep the show so much more interesting. Keep the show going, setting different directions. We love it. We appreciate you guys, man. You guys take care
Who
of
was
each
it? Yeah,
other.
who asked us?
Take care of yourselves. You could take care of each other.
Who asked us to give the order?
That's
of
awesome,
teams
Dirty
we
Dog.
play?
Roman.
Hell yeah, dude! You just
Hey,
created a badass segment. That was
Hey, are
fun.
you gonna do a show Thursday, Brandon? You guys on New Year's
Yes.
Day? Yeah.
Yes.
So late night, 11:30. The bare minimum will be back, and then we'll be back. We'll see you Sunday ahead of the Chicago Bears and the Detroit Lions for the regular season finale, as we lick our chops and get ready for postseason football on the lakefront. Can't get any better than that.
The Bears.
Until then, Kyle.
Yeah, you guys take care of yourselves so you could take care of each other, man.
And for all of our new viewers,
Anything you want to get out there before we wrap up?
Shit, fuck Green Bay.
All right. Yeah.
we'll bounce back next week.
Yeah, Dirty Dog, come visit us again, man. Try to get on early in the show. We'd love to talk to you, brother.
Oh, he's been watching the Bears since 1968, man. That's amazing.
He's seen a lot of bad.
Dirty Dog.
Yeah,
He's seen a lot of bad. Saw a Super Bowl.
We are definitely NFC North champs. Until next week, everybody, we love y'all. Peace. Celebrate this Bear season. It's been a great one. Hopefully, there's better things on the horizon.
Remember, guys, the last team to win the NFC North is the team that it's been the longest since they won the NFC North is the Green Bay fucking Packers.
Oh yeah, and by the
How about
way, guys, Ben Johnson has now won 3 straight NFC North Division championships. Peace and love, everybody.
That's
Bear
insane,
down.
honestly.